From somewhere near a taco shop, welcome to the Dirt Life Show with your host, George Hamill.
What is up, everyone? Episode 127 of the Dirt Life Show, Silverstate 300 recap. Yeah, buddy, we have the awesome Mila right next to us, Mila Performance, Keith Mila. I don't know which name you like to go by the best, just straight up Mila.
Keith to me sounds like an STD, so I prefer Mila.
That sounds funny. I don't think it's considered like that, but still. Way to open the show, dude. All right, so we got a fantastic show for you guys lined up tonight. We are at IMG Motorsports here in Lake Elsinore, California. It's hot as shit outside. California is really getting us. I'm Georgie Hamill, the host of the Dirt Life Show. Before we get to going on the show, share the show with all your buddies. When you join the live feed, you can hit the button, share the show. We apologize for having the issues on Monday night on the show, but I think we got them figured out, man. We're going to keep our fingers crossed that Instagram works for us today. We're going to talk about a few different things tonight. UTVs, beating some of the trophy trucks, the Class 1s, all that stuff at the Silverstate 300. We're going to talk with all kinds of cool people. Jessy Nelson, Dustin Bodeker, Mitch Guthrie Jr., and Curtis Elliott talk about their run against the trophy trucks and stuff. Max Eddy and Austin Eddy, they won the NA class, the Pro NA class in the UTVs. Justin Smith from Shock Therapy is going to call in. And Seth Quintero, he's actually with Mitch and Red Bull at the F1 race over there in Miami.
Lucky.
Dude, how jealous are you right now?
I'm very
jealous. And
jealous.
that's your guy, too, dude.
Yeah, man. Yep.
Max is your guy, right?
Max is my guy. Yep.
All right, and Bruce Beanquist, BDI, is going to call in as well, talk about his adventures racing up there with the big dogs. And then Jamie Campbell, I think Mikey Sandoval, and Elliot Watson are going to call in a little bit later or join us on Instagram and talk to us about their run and their Honda Talon. So without further ado, let's see if we can get this Instagram thing working here with Jessy Nelson, and we'll get him going. Ask him how his race was. He just started doing the whole desert racing deal, so
He's a savage.
Dude, he's such a badass, man. And he's got a new crew guy, Dustin Bodeker, that has been helping out. There we go. Thank you, Lord baby Jesus.
DNF on Monday, finish line on Thursday.
What's going on, boys? Jessy Nelson, Dustin Bodeker, what's up, dudes?
Hanging to a little left.
Crap, your internet's cutting out, dude.
No, your internet's crapping out.
There we go.
There we go. It's better. That's fine. You can blame us, dude. It's all good. Hey, so Silverstate 300, we talked to you guys a little bit already about it on Monday, but it was, I don't know, it was basically a shit show with all of our technology. So how'd it go?
Well, the podcast wasn't that great because nobody's Instagram was working, but Silverstate didn't go that great either. It was fun. Yeah, we had a lot of fun, but yeah, it wasn't. It never really started that great. We had minimal time to go out and pre-rounder test or like that, so that's what kind of sucked. We were battling some issues with the clutching, and then long story short, mile 2 our clutch came off off the spline and everything, and that's Polaris Razor torque specs. I don't know what happened or why it did, but we even went a little over. We went like 2 pounds over torque spec. Torque plus a quarter, basically. Yeah, and it still came off. So maybe just use impacts from now on. And then mile 58, engine let go, and we had a hole in all of our oil. Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. Yeah, maybe somebody sabotaged you, spray some WD-40 in your clutch compartment.
Seriously.
Well, we left that thing sitting out in the Tropicana parking lot. Probably not the best but that's all we had.
But yeah, so anybody that doesn't know, Jessy came from dirt bike racing and a fantastic dirt bike racer, got hurt, and now he's doing side-by-sides. And he's done a little bit of work stuff and some of the, I don't know what you want to call it, preliminary stuff, and now he stepped up to the big dog class and the best in the desert, and he's doing pro turbo stuff. It's a whole different game now, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of hard because it's not like a works race, it's more of like I don't know, because I don't have enough experience in it, but after 3 hours watching somebody go by, 300 miles, and we're at mile 50, it's don't take this the wrong way, if it's like a glorified trail ride, I don't know. It's not like, I don't know. It's tough to say because we didn't get that far into it, and we didn't really know what our car was going to do, and we're just sitting there kind of watching the other guys. But there's a lot of things that I don't know. So I guess
Yeah,
you know.
your phone's cutting out quite a bit. Somebody already chimed in, said your internet blows. Do you have Wi-Fi right now, or is it just a cell phone?
1, 2,
Just
3,
cell
4,
phone.
5. We have 5 bars, full bars.
Check.
It looks like it helps if you get closer to the mic.
There you go.
All right, yeah, so I agree with what you're saying, though. It's kind of different, right? Because it's not like what you're used to. Like when you did dirt bikes and stuff, it was so intense for so long, right? It's way different because you draw out the time that you're actually like on pace, and you're not pushing 100% because the car is just plain and simple can't handle it. It's like you have to figure out a level like 80% to go or whatever it is. Like Mila knows way more. Like Jessy, you and I, we just go balls to the wall.
Well, I don't like cars that are not built strong. They're like, yeah, mostly like barely a full season of work, and just select races that I wanted to do sounded fun, and then everybody's got all this hype around desert, so like that sounded kind of fun, and that's kind of the way I went with it.
How did you get involved, Dustin?
Well, my dad did it back in the built his own car, full car girl. Grew up racing.
Man, I wish that we could hear you, but I can't hear. We can hardly hear any of the words that you guys are saying.
Cutting in and out.
Hold on 1 sec.
How about now?
That's
Seems like it's a little bit better. Goes back and goes back and forth.
Well, that sucks. How about now?
Yeah, it sounds better now.
Okay.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So
a lot better.
Yeah, we grew up in a small town.
yeah, so I grew up racing. Nothing on Jesse's level, of course, but I grew up with him in Templeton High. Just been on moto, and then at one point in high school, my dad got a Yamaha Rhino, built that thing, and we got into horse racing. So, you know, and ever since I seen Jess in one of these side-by-sides, I told him, I was all, dude, push desert. And, you know, it's such a
Big desert guy, Dustin.
Yeah, it's
I
addicting.
am. I love it.
It's addicting, man.
It's the family that, you know, you get all your boys together, the help you get, you know, it's such a family-oriented deal that you get close friends.
Hey, do you have the phone like kind of like close so that the mic's not getting hit? Like raise it up a little bit or something is what somebody suggested.
Hey, I don't know what he's
There you
talking
go.
about.
You got it. Dude, if you guys lift it up, it's good.
It's his cell
Cricket
phone.
wireless.
I don't know what Dustin's talking about. That shit is expensive, okay?
I never said it was
just-
cheap.
Oh, no, I know that. It's fun, but, dude, it is so expensive.
What, desert racing?
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Come on, guy.
Just
Dude.
a little bit.
Yeah, Jessy, we've talked about this before. Like every time I think I'm like, oh, okay, we're going from 2 wheels to 4 wheels. It's not going to be that much worse. It's just going to be a little bit extra work. It's like 10 times as much fucking work, dude.
Yeah.
In a wheelchair. Do you know how hard it is to just keep that thing sustained? Oh, my God.
Man, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Well, I'm glad that you have friends like Dustin to be able to help out. Hey, so you guys tested out that X-Travel stuff. We're going to talk to Mitchy a little bit about it, too. Did that help when you were driving?
Well, dude, so everything I keep full hand control. So I'm my throttle, my brake, everything like that. So with I don't know how to put into like lame's terms or anything like that, but so with for me, everything's full hands. All your feedback's in your hands, like arms, all that. So when James started talking to me, James from X Travel was talking to me about how their suspension works. It doesn't get a lot of feedback. It doesn't have bump steer, all these different things. Like just hearing it, I was like, all right, I'm sold. And then I hopped in one of their cars with some just like thick portable hand controls, and I could literally almost drive with no hand.
Yeah.
Like, just hitting the throttle, and like it follows ruts. It kind of like it's almost like having a dirt bike with a steering stabilizer, but it doesn't make the steering different. But it still has that like feel for it, you know?
Dude, it's crazy. You can just like one finger it.
Yeah, I was on his Instagram checking it out. I'm very curious. I would like to get up and close and
check it out.
Check it out.
They call
yeah.
it like mechanical drag, I think is how he explained it to me. Like, I don't know how that works. I'm not the engineer, dude. You'd probably know it better than me. But when you see it, it's crazy. It's cool, though.
The way it pivots, it seems like it would take a little bit of the bump steer out, which is what Jessy was saying. If you can drive it with one hand.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Hey, so overall, like when you go to the desert races, I mean, it's a whole new level, right? Because it's like, I guess it's kind of like, Jessy, like going from amateurs to the pro level, right? Like all of a sudden you're against the big dogs. You got to have more endurance, the longer race. Like your car's got to be better. Like shit's just on a different level, dude. Could you kind of see that when you came out there?
I didn't have enough time to really see. And then also, I don't know, because like on a motorcycle, I would have pushed, I think, 100%. Like I would have tried to be fit as can be.
Right.
And pushed at as hard as I go, and I know what a motorcycle can do. I don't really know as far as pushing wise or what a racer can do versus. You get where you're coming from?
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, yeah, a lot of people actually had issues out at Silverstate too. I was going to actually talk a little bit about this because a lot of dudes rolled it over and crashing other drivers, bumping each other, like, and all of it honestly wasn't that like dirty racing or anything. It was just a crazy event overall, dude. It was fucking gnarly, don't you think, Dustin?
Yeah, it was pretty.
The dust.
The dust was bad. It was definitely a dry track. I don't know if it was just our GPS, but our GPS wasn't staying. What corners wasn't actually what was.
Yeah, dude, it would say like an L3, and then it would be the most like.
Right.
Okay, yeah, it would say like an L right, or is it L right or L hard or
well,
whatever?
It's left of it 1 through 3, but yeah, it'd be something hard. It'd come up something hard, so I'm like, all right, check up, and then all of a sudden it's this flat turn.
Dude, it would be like going from like the 15. I mean, like 91 to the 15, like that gradual right hand, like this mellow sweeper coming through, but on the GPS it would show it like almost like a straight angle, like it was.
Yeah.
Oh, does it
big's
happen like that sometimes?
Well, I was just gonna say, how big's your GPS? Because the bigger the screen, I have a hard time with the small screens. But the bigger the screen, the way the arc is a little bit easier to read.
Yeah, we have a Lowrance 9.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, so it's not too bad. But
So-
that's what I was thinking, if maybe some of these guys were getting caught up because it looks a little bit more gradual and they're coming up,
Yeah.
a little sharper than it actually is, and they're going too fast in the corner, and they could just be over the corners a little bit.
That's crazy. That's a good point to bring up. I'm actually super glad that you guys brought this up because I'm actually going to go to lunch with Jacob Todd Peter's son. He actually had a little incident on course and got hit by a couple other drivers, and it was like it was pretty gnarly, and he's been feeling really bad about it. Like, and Jacob's a good driver. Like, he made a little mistake, and then it just kind of cost everybody, right? Like, that's just the way that racing goes. Like, it's nobody's fault, but it's kind of gnarly, man. And now that you guys said that, that actually brings up a good point that I can talk to him about.
Well, Jacob should not feel bad at all, dude. He's not against adults. Like,
Yep.
he has nothing to be ashamed of or bothered about. Nothing. Like, he's out there 300 miles in the desert with a co-driver, whoever he is, he or she is. That's a big feat for a young kid like him. And if say something bad happens, like, dude, you've never been in that position or experienced anything like that before. Like, of course it's not going to go well, but it's a learning experience. I guarantee you he probably won't make that same mistake. Or if he does, he's going to know how to counteract or react to that.
Yeah, dude.
Scenario.
Yeah.
Very good point. Yeah. And he did actually, they explained to me a lot of the stuff that he did, and he followed proper procedure and protocol and stuff. Michael Trent just commented in on Facebook and said, an X-Travel episode with James sounds like it's appropriate. Well, Michael, good to know. Yeah. We already did one of those bad boys. So go check it out in the archives. You can look at it on YouTube or Facebook in all the video sections. But we did a really in-depth episode. We even showed a lot of it, how the actual suspension system works. So go check it out, man. Hey, so since this was their first desert race, in quotes, what kind of stuff did you experience or can you help them with as advice, like going into their second one?
I think Jesse's got it, with his background in moto. I know it's a lot different, but it's just mindset. You take what you maybe failed in the first time, which I'm sure you have mental notes. We need to do this better. And then it's the gradual slope. It's not we're going to get to the top. It's like we're going to go to the next race, and we're just going to have a good time and make it work. And if it doesn't, then we're going to learn from that.
Yeah, I think that's good advice.
Yeah, I need to, well, one thing is I was relying a lot on the GPS when I need to rely on it like a motocross track. Watch it. Like, I have great instincts, I have great reaction time, everything like that, where it just shouldn't be watching the course.
Yeah.
And I've been so used to watching rally videos or other videos of people, and they're like, left turn right over minus, you know what I mean? Like, all these different things. And I'm like, well, dude, I can see it right now. I should just be watching, listen. But sometimes when you're going wide open and you can't really see what's on the next thing, I'm like, well, what if they put a 90 right there? Like, I have no idea.
Dude, Dustin, that actually sounds like you should let Jessy kind of have his own, like, just zone that he's in, like it being the driver, because he's got so much experience seeing so far ahead, going so fast in quick reaction times like in dirt bikes. Maybe that's the move, is just to let Jessy do his thing and then kind of sit back and guide him where he needs it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking after the first few miles. It was just like, all right, you just drive the car and just, I'll chime in when needed. But there was just so much going on for the first one. There was a lot of pressure and everything.
Dude.
I think the next one's going to be a lot better.
The Kodog actually doesn't get enough credit because it is a very stressful spot sitting in the Kodog seat.
You're looking at a lot of stuff too, the car, everything.
You're keeping your driver cool. You're looking at the GPS. You're watching the gauges. You're watching the terrain. You're trying not to get sick. You got to get something to drink. Hey man, chill out. Stop yelling at me. Let's go. Blah blah blah.
There's no amount of money riding the Kodog seat. No way.
Yeah. Big driver guy, Jessy. Hey, so what about because Dustin also and Jessy both prep the car and like get it all ready, and Dustin actually built a lot of that car too. Like, what kind of suggestions there can you give them since they were kind of going out and getting their feet wet?
I think Dustin sounds like he's got his head on his shoulders, man.
Pretty meticulous dude, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously if you could put some JB Weld on that hole in the engine, that might help you for the next race. As long as enough stuff's not falling off, you got it going on. You know your prep game, and right now it's just getting the prep to the car to finish, obviously, and then you build off of that. And with they say the moto guys are always going to be better drivers because they can read lines better.
Yeah.
I'm an old moto guy, not at Jesse's level. I watched him at Elsinore once, and I instantly became a fan. But I feel like I'm pretty. Yeah, it was a while ago. But I feel like, you have the skill, and with his prep, you should be fine.
Ken Johnson, what's up, buddy? How are you? So going through all that stuff, like, what do you take from it? Because I know a lot of our audience and our listeners, they always want to know, like, how they can get into racing and stuff. And, you've been doing it for a couple years now, Jessy, but like I said, this is a whole new game. Like, what do you learn, and how do you take it to the next race?
I'm still trying to figure that out, honestly. That's why, like, if people want to DM me or talk shop with whatever, or guys like Keith or you as well. I've learned so much from you, George, just alone. But I'm still figuring it out. It's like it's not like a type of sport where you can go race every weekend and you just throw some chain lube on and change your oil and throw a filter in. Like, you have to, like, so much prep. The races are spread out. There's this race or this race, and then say the course is, it's too narrow. We couldn't make a pass because we got a stick or whatever. You know what I mean? There's just so many scenarios hard to do, and it's expensive. It's super expensive. But, like, as far as, like, people getting into it, like I did, honestly, if you can build a car that's legal for works or something like that, and you want to go just hit select rounds, like, don't blow your wad and say, like, all right, this year I'm going to go race every single round no matter what. Or do, I guess, depending on your budget or whatever, but go pick the ones that sound fun to you, and mentally you already know, like, oh, we're going to be racing in Prim at near Vegas. Oh, you mentally already know you're going to have fun there.
Yeah.
The keywords are mentally. You've hit the nail on the head, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Mental game is so insane. And then you'd be like, oh, we're going to Mammoth. Oh, I love Mammoth. So, like, you're already stoked to get there. Even though, like, I mean, let's be real. The Mammoth motocross is fantastic. The track isn't, like, it's fun, but it's not anything spectacular.
Dude, it's the vibe, dude. It's so sick.
That's how I feel about the mint. I hate the mint course, but I love the vibe.
Exactly. Yeah, from everything I hear from people, but it's like mentality is really, really strong, and you just got to push that to wherever you go. And you go in with a great mindset, or you're in like, oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. We're going to Havasu. Like we can go fishing and we can go rip the boat on the lake, and then we're gonna race. Like it's gonna be fun, and it's gonna be fun. Whether you have that mentality, just things change.
Dude, I love that Jessy just brought all this up because I always hear people and they're so freaking serious about this racing, and I'm cool with that. Like, that's fine. Be serious about it. Go out there to win, but don't be like the dad and the mom that are pushing the kid. Like, go have fun and use it as a learning experience.
Don't be the dads at Loretta Lynn's is what you're saying?
Kind of.
Oh, dude, I think some of the 170 parents are just as bad. But also, again, remember, if you're going to start racing and you have experience or you've whatever it is when it comes to like racing, don't hold yourself back to get results.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't race a class when you're, say it's a 12 to 15-year-old class, and you're right on the edge of 15. You're 15, you're about to be 16. You could run the rest of the year as a 15-year-old. Don't run it like that. And you're creaming people and you're winning by over a minute. No, bump up to the next class, race the tougher people.
Yeah, or you're a 6 foot 12-year-old, then bump up to the bigger class.
Yeah, or you want to stay in the lower class when desert, or you want to stay in the lower class of Berks or best or dirt series, and just so you can get on your resume and say, hey, I won 15 championships, but there was only 3 people in the class on 8 of them. You know what I mean? Like, push yourself.
Bo Judge just chimed in and said, no, only go to win. That's all they do is win, no matter what.
It's true.
That's all it does, dude. Come on.
They actually had a bad weekend, though, too. Well, Bo had a good weekend at the work series, but unfortunately they ran into some issues in the dust, too. And Justin from Shock Therapy is going to call in a little bit later and talk about the issues that they had in the dust. It's such a different game. Like, I can never, ever tell anybody, or like Jessy, I don't even know how you guys would describe it. Like, when you have that much dust, like, there's literally nothing that you can do or see or anything. It's just phenomenal that people race through that.
Yeah.
Well, dude, that's another thing, too. It's like either you have balls or no brains, or you got brains and no balls, or you know what I mean? It's a fine line between what you can do or not do. Like, how about when we hit the second silt section, and we caught like 2 or 3 different, we caught 2 dudes in that next section. And we're coming to the silt, and I remember hearing dudes like, oh, yeah, dude, desert rats, they just hold it wicked. And I'm like, you don't do that, you're going to get last. And that's all that was in my mind. And I'm like, no, my life isn't worth this. Like, no fucking way. I mean,
Yeah. Well, Ivan Stewart told me once, when I go through the silt, if I hold it wide open, my motor's getting all that silt.
Yeah.
That's what he said to me. And I was like, oh, that's actually a good point.
True. Yeah, so we're ripping through. We're going through the silt, and it gets really thick. The wind's changing directions, and I'm kind of going left, right, but the wind's just chasing everywhere we wanted to go. And then finally, we're like, it gets super thick, like a white sheet over your face. You hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm just plugging in the deal so we don't lose battery power.
All right. Yeah, Cole Barbieri hit it right. Coming up to the fence crossing. We're ripping up through there, and all of a sudden I'm like, dude, it's completely like a white sheet over. But we just go way up, stepped out.
It's almost impossible to drive through it. You can't even really explain it. It's like you have to have super confidence in your Kodak to say, where am I going? But it's just so sketchy.
But dude, it was a full white sheet. And we're like ripping through, we're left, right, trying to get through it like mellow, and then all of a sudden it gets so bad to where you can't see anything. And I'm like, and he's like, just keep pushing. He's trying to watch the GPS, and I'm like, no, dude, we need to get out. And I like skanked right, got as far off as I could, and the next thing you know, as soon as we got around the dust, there was nothing behind it. And I think that there was a car behind it, broke down in the middle.
For sure, you could have creamed it, dude.
And I don't know how, where I was like, dude, it was just way too thick and not moving, because like the silt kind of follows a little bit, or at least moves, and it was like nothing. And I was like, got out of it, and then as soon as we ran around that section, there was no dust, nothing. And I was like, all right, somebody freaking broke down or something. But it was squirrely. That mentally was like, dude, we could have just ass packed somebody so hard, and then somebody had done the same to us.
Yeah.
and the same to them. Like it would just been like a reoccurring thing.
That's so good that you have all-wheel drive with the UTVs too, because in a two-wheel drive truck, you're stuck in it, man. With the all-wheel drive, you can just okay, let's get a different line, see if we can get out of this silt.
And just pull right out of it.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah,
hey, so we're going to have Mitch Guthrie and Fert Dean, Curtis, Elliott going to come on and talk a little bit about their race too. But before we go, I already know the answer to this, but I want to ask the question again. What's your go-to snacks in the race car?
Yeah. Come on, beef jerky and whiskey. What's up?
Dustin, is that your go-to too?
Yeah, beef jerky is the easiest one to get down. You get that protein and you get a little, just that meat stick. Good.
805. Oh, hey, have you guys ever tried the Arizona iced tea gummy bears?
No, are they? Is it delicious?
I'm a gummy bear guy too.
Choice, dude. They have their little mini cans and then their little mini Arizona sign.
Really?
Good.
Pretty good. Yeah, found them for the first time at a gas station on the way to the race.
Does that beat Sour Patch Kids?
Oh, no.
Ooh,
no. No. Health-wise, maybe. I don't know, but I haven't looked.
I'll look for those, dude.
All right, thanks. Hey, and then what flavor beef jerky?
Original or black pepper.
Yeah, I like pepper.
Black pepper's good.
Black pepper's good. It gives you a little bit of spice so you can keep your mindset going.
Yeah, so anybody out there watching, if you ever heard of Catania Bros, Catania Bros.
Wait, say it again.
Say it again.
Catania.
Catania.
Have you had that?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It's a local beef jerky company here, but check it out online. Maybe Georgie, I'll send you a link, but their jerky is so good. And
Dude.
it's here local. Been around since the 1800s.
Big beef jerky guys over
Yeah,
here,
me
too.
too.
Yeah, send that link over, dude. All right, well, thank you,
Man.
Thank you, boys, very much. You got anything else? You throw a shout-out to 4 Wheel Parts. I don't know who. Brett Carpenter. Who else you got?
4 Wheel Parts, Joey, Craig, all the dudes there, X Travel, BF Goodrich, Method Wheels, Fox Racing, Vin, all the guys over there, Sparko, Chris, George at Dirt Life, Keith. You should be part of our program. I know it.
Dude.
Where are you guys located?
Central California.
Yeah, Central Coast.
Templeton.
Okay.
Paso Robles, yeah.
Yeah.
So, hey, I'm going to come visit you this summer, too. We're going to do a show there, so let's get the internet all fired up, or we'll get Starlink up there.
Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Elon.
Ocean Power Sports, Todd. Now we got San Diego Powder Coat, Ethica, Endwear. Those guys, Kyle Foz. Dude, Rigid Industries. I'd like to put out a special thank you to Jackie from Rigid. She's been awesome.
I talked to her this morning, too. She was all pissed at me because I went to lunch at Cafe Rio in Phoenix yesterday, and she didn't get to go.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, burned her.
We're a big pain in the ass for her, and she's always awesome and phenomenal.
Hey, what about somebody else that's kind of close to you? Her name starts with an M.
Emily?
E-M, yeah. I-L-Y.
Emily, what's up?
I'm just saying, you want to thank her, throw a shout-out, dude.
Oh, sorry, yeah. X-Travel, Emily, X-Travel, James, Nestor, they've been phenomenal. Like, dude, they were helping us out at 1 o'clock in the morning, like trying to figure out some stuff we've had issues with, which weren't related to them. It was more rear-end stuff, but thank them enough. Can't thank them enough. My wife, Emily, my pit crew, Harris, Jason, his wife, Amy, my parents, and that's about it. Keith's going to join soon.
Yeah, Keith's going to be part of the program soon, so yeah, we'll thank Keith already.
I'm in, dude.
Mike, Racing Fuels, phenomenal. Heather, Dylan over there. We just got, dude, Troy Lee Designs. There's a lot of people.
Jesse's giving us a clinic on how to thank sponsors because he's thanking all the sponsors. He's thanking all the companies, the people involved.
He's had a few go-rounds with it.
Hey, you know what? Ron Lachine, Maxima USA, Racing Oils.
Dang, you guys got a lot of sponsors,
I just
dude.
need to point out, you see how positive these two guys are? This is what sponsors like. And this goes back to what we were talking about before. When you sponsor somebody, it's not just for their car. Look at their attitude, man. That's great.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. Hey, thanks, boys. We really appreciate it.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. You guys as well. Can't wait to have you on the next pit crew or even Code Dog, whatever you want to do.
All right, boys. Hey, thank you guys very much for joining. Please tell Emily we said hello. We'll see you guys next time.
Atlas Animal Rescue, thank you.
All right, see you guys.
Later, guys. All right, so we're we're going to get Mitchy and Curtis on in just a second here. So if you guys are watching, jump on, boys, and we'll hang out and talk a little bit about your guys' race. I think Mitchy, dude, who knows where Mitch is at? Because he's in Miami for the F1 race. I wonder how you go. Like, where do you go to get service for your Instagram Live when you're at an F1 race?
I think you just go down and talk to Christian Horner and be like, hey, man, what's your Wi-Fi code?
Yeah, we got this. That'd be pretty sick if he was right next to Max while you're on the co-hosting right now.
Yeah, I might not even be paying attention to Mitch at that point.
It's just be like, hey, go over there and start asking questions.
Yeah, hey, can you
Max.
disturb Max right now? See what's up?
Get the VIP. All right, let's get these bad boys on here. Dude, what do you think? Like, we talked about it a little bit before. Like, what's your honest opinion about UTVs getting so – well, let's preface this like what I tried to do on Monday when we were talking about it is UTVs are growing massive.
Huge.
These guys racing in the trophy truck and class 1 class, like up with the big dogs, is the next level. It's super, super cool to see. But it couldn't have been a better race for them to do it, right, at the Silverstate. Because I want to make sure that everybody knows, like Mitch and Curtis and like everybody on their team, like they do a fantastic job. Right. But if you put that car against a trophy truck down in Baja, there's no way that it could ever do this good against that.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I will take it one step further. I don't think anybody but Mitch or Bingquist even can do that, right? So we just take the average Joe, throw him in a UTV, he's going to qualify good, yes, but maybe when you get further down the road, he's going to get eaten up by the trophy trucks. So
in
the car and the driver,
big bumps, right?
Yeah, well, all over, I think.
All right, so we got Curtis Elliott and Mitch Guthrie Jr. on. What's up, boys? How are you?
What up?
How's it
Doing
going?
Great.
Dude, okay, first of all, thank you very much for having good audio. You guys are killing it all right off the bat, dude. Coming in good.
We got Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so, all right, well, hey, so we're talking a little bit about the reality of UTVs getting faster and coming up. You guys did an awesome job at the Silverstate 300. You guys came away with a win. You guys made a mark in the UTV world and off-road in general just by doing battle with the big dogs, right? I mean, like, it's phenomenal to see that in its own right. But we got to talk a little bit about, like, first of all, how you guys did during the race, what your guys' strategy was. But then again, like, the reality, like Mila and I were just talking about, like, how far a UTV can actually go against the big dogs. You know what I mean? So
wait, can I ask one question?
Yeah.
When did it come to your mind we're going to enter in Class 1?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Was it, we're going to Silver State, this is the perfect race? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's the first thing I thought of.
Honestly, I got to give a shout out to Bruce Binquist, because he was calling me a couple times before the race, and he actually came up with it and talked to the tech guys. And I was like, can I actually do this? Can we do this? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, well, thanks, Bruce. Thanks for the idea. I'm going to join you. And yeah, that's kind of how it came about. But for me personally, like, I'm racing the Pro R now. Personally, I feel like that's the fastest car out there. So in this race, I would have had to start at the back of the Trophy Unlimited class. So we would have had to come through the whole field. We would have started with a lot in front of us. And everyone knows on this race, dust is always a huge factor. So when I figured out that was an opportunity that we could actually do, I was like, yeah, definitely, let's do it.
What did you think, Curtis?
I thought when he first told me that we were going in Class 1, I didn't believe it. I thought he was crazy. But then he told me the rules and that we pretty much passed. So he said, I'm not starting at the back of a bunch of UTVs in the dust because we'd just be fighting our way to the front the whole time.
I can just see them having this conversation. He's like, we're going Class 1. Curtis is like, let's go!
Yeah, man.
Like, huh? What do you mean? All right, yeah, sure. Let's go. Let's do it.
That's pretty sick. And then so just to keep going on the kind of the same subject, I want to keep laying down the baseline here. We're talking about, like, battling against, whatever, 6,000, 7,000 pound trophy trucks and Class 1 cars. And we're talking about how good you guys did, but we're also talking about the evolution of where UTVs are going. Like in NORA right now, as we speak, Wayne Matlock is doing the same thing. Like, he's really putting it to all of those bigger cars, too. So there is a little bit of argument point to myself that these UTVs can do better than what most people, including me, think. Like, with drivers and co-drivers like Mitch and Curtis, like, they're showing what I think can't be done. It's phenomenal, dude.
Yeah, I totally agree. The level those UTVs are at now is just unseen.
Well, and the driver and the co-driver too.
I agree.
So, like, give us a little bit of a rundown of like what you guys had going on at Silverstate. I mean, what the expectations were at the beginning of the race, and like how you guys felt, like, because you've never done this before. It's like new territory.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like the expectations, like you said, that was the biggest thing, and we didn't know. Like, even on the way up to the race course, we had the 2-hour drive with my dad. My dad's like, you know, be careful and like all this stuff, and that was already our plan. You know, we were on high alert. We put extra mirrors on the car because we didn't know where we were going to be. We didn't know if we were going to be faster. Personally, I thought we were going to be slower, and you know, we had a good qualifying. The course was good for a UTV, but okay, once we get on race course, it's not going to go that way, and we'll probably drop back. I still thought we could hold our own, but I didn't think we would be doing what we did. But we kind of just tried our best not to let all the haters get to us. And personally, for me, I talked to a lot of the trophy truck guys, even on the start line, the guys right behind me, and I went up to each. I said, hey guys, we're on high alert. You guys racing tracks, push to pass us. We are out of the way. And everyone was like super, super cool. Everyone was awesome. Everyone wanted us to be safe. They wanted to play it safe. So that was awesome to hear. And then, you know, the start of the race, we got to pit 1, and we had a 2-minute gap, and we heard that we were a minute 40 to the next truck. And that's when I was like, okay, I mean, we're holding the pace now. And the start of the race was super fast. And that's when getting up to the first pit was the big thing. It's like, where are we going to be? I was telling Curtis, I'm like, look in your mirrors, look in your mirrors. Like, I was freaking out the first 20 or 30 miles. And then we got the gap, and I was like, okay, we're good. Actually, I think we can hold ourselves in a good position.
Dude, Mila, that's crazy, right? Because, like, you get and how many miles was that to the first pit?
35?
I don't know.
Okay, so let's just use 50 miles as the number here. Like, you get 50 miles under your belt, and you're like, holy crap, we're doing this.
We're holding it.
Like, this is phenomenal. Like, what's the vibe in the car, Curtis, when you think that? Because that's crazy.
Yeah, I was definitely scared at first, but then once we got through the first and second pit, I was like, all right, we're good. We're going to get to the trees, and then we're going to be like, see ya, to all the 6,100 trucks and everything else. We were going to pretty much be a lot faster in all the tight stuff, like the trees up in the mountains. So as soon as we got there, we were all safe, pretty much.
So at what level? So I know for the trophy truck game, like right now, as soon as the green flag drops, it's 95%. Those guys aren't lifting.
Yeah.
So knowing in the back of your head you're stuck in the middle of a trophy truck freight train, how hard were you driving to the first
Dude,
pit?
honestly, that's like a war zone, man.
Dude, for sure.
For me, like, especially to the first pit, it was a lot of straightaway, you know, 90 right or 90 left, or, you know, a little bit of corners, but it was a lot of top speed. So that's why I thought the trucks were going to be on us right away. But once we saw the gap, I kind of realized, I think we're holding our own a bit more on the top speed because the Pro R has a way better belt life. We've never blown a belt on it, and we, you know, can go upwards of 100 miles an hour and hold it there now.
Nice.
And we get into those tight corners, and I feel like we could probably outbrake them, and we could get through the corner faster, out of the corner faster, and then they just have maybe some more top speed on us. So up to pit 1, pit 2, I was just really trying to focus on like outbraking, getting through the corner quick, you know, holding our speed and keeping the momentum going. And that was my big thing. We were pushing hard for sure, but I'd say in the entire race, we really never had like a super sketchy moment. We were just kind of going with the flow. And once you get on a flow on the Silverstate course, I think that's when you can really get some good times.
Dude, it's
so easy to overdrive.
Yeah, but it's so crazy to see like what they're thinking. Like, I can just picture myself like in the car with these guys. Like, first of all, they're like, the anticipation is like overwhelming because you don't know what's going to go on. And then both of them are keeping their cool. Well, I don't know. Maybe they were like yelling and screaming, but I could feel them keeping their cool by how they're talking like pretty good right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, every race, the jitters, I mean, hundreds of races, and you still get the green flag jitters. And then you got the freight train you think is going to come behind you. I can only imagine amplified it even worse.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I explained earlier is like we had mirrors on the car. I had Curtis on lookouts. Like if we go through like a 90 right-hand corner, I'm like, Curtis, look behind us. And that first, I think I saw Bruce said 28 miles. That first 28 miles, every corner, every straightaway, I was freaking out. I was so scared. And then even though I knew that those guys said that they were going to, be cool with me and everything, I just didn't want to get in their way. So I was out, and then once we went through the first pit, like I said, I cooled off a lot, but up to the first pit was sketchy for sure.
So Curtis, like after you start getting a little bit more comfortable, like it's giving me chills hearing him talk, because I can just think about the level of excitement they get, like mid-race, 3/4 of the race, and then when they cross the finish. Like, so how were you guys feeling during the race? Were you just still concentrating on the main goal of making sure the car gets to the finish, or like what's the vibe?
We're always like focused on trying to get the car, like keep it safe and always run a smart race. But at this point too, we were also trying to go as fast as possible. So I'd say about like mid-race, we got really like comfortable, and we really started to like hit our marks and focus and go really, really fast and keep a good pace and really hold our ground. So 3/4 of the way through the race, it was just, how close could we stay to the cars and big cars in front of us. So
were you getting all kind of mental towards the end when they're giving you time splits and you're like slowly moving up? Are you like, dude, we're doing great, let's push, but not? Or did it get to the point where like, dude, we could actually podium this, let's push as hard as we can?
For me, we started 7th and, got by some people that broke. Unfortunately, Bruce ended up having a mechanical and stuff. And I think we were about halfway through the race and we were 3rd on course. And then it was like, we had a pretty good gap to the 2 guys in BJ and Cole in front of us. And it was like, all right, let's see what we could do. And we ended up getting through we were coming towards the last pit, and there's a really tight tree section. And I think the class 1 in front of us, he ended up getting a flat, but we were just exiting the trees and we got into his dust. And I was like, we're, probably within 30 seconds of him. And then we got out of those trees and we got into probably the last 50 or 60 miles is super fast. And we got into that, and I just watched his dust leave us.
Yeah.
I mean, overall throughout the race, after we got through the first 1 or 2 pits and saw our pace, I was like, okay, I think we can, just drive our own race now and keep an eye out behind us and try and catch the guys in front and see where we can end up.
Dude, that's cool. What was the difference in being up there, Curtis, like with those guys instead of being in a normal, like, well, actually, let me give a shout out to Vito Ornulio, let's see, Joe Tirana and Dustin Jones, because all those guys got top 3 in the Pro Turbo class. So what's it like being up there in that position on course compared to, I don't want to say back there because that sounds bad, but like with all the UTVs and the leaders back there?
Mm-hmm. It felt almost like with this new Pro R, it's so fast, it almost just feels natural up there now. Really only at this race is probably the only one that we could do that with the big cars, but it felt like it was necessary with it because it was fast and it could do it. We knew it could.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And both of you guys are the perfect people to have in the platform to be able to do it. Fantastic driver and co-driver. But when you think about it, that's totally true because like what Mitch was saying earlier, like if they had started wherever they put the cars in line and having to work up, that's a pretty dangerous situation.
It's very hard too. Silverstate's like a freight train, and you got to try and find a spot to pass when you catch the dude in front of you. It's a hard race.
So you just get up, slow down, get up, slow down, get up, slow down.
Exactly. And I've been in Silverstate where I've been stuck in the dust all day, and we haven't made any time because it's just a freight train. So starting up front is so key.
Jesse Nelson said, how was the belt? Mitchie was already saying that they never even blown a belt on that thing.
That's crazy. That's a good thing.
Dude, that is crazy. Hey, so real quick, we're kind of jealous, dude. This guy is a big Max Verstappen fan over here, dude.
Come on. What do we Vegas next year? What do I take you to dinner? What are we doing here?
Me and Max are actually going to dinner right after this. So we're gonna give him
killing me.
Yeah. I can't wait to see the Insta bangers and how sad Mila is after this.
Dude, Formula One's my sport. I always said if I had the chance to do all this over again, I would have flown over to Europe and been a pit guy
Hey, so you are out of checking out Formula One out there in Florida. How is it, dude?
Oh, Jesse's off my list. Says Max sucks.
But yeah, we just got you here today. Seth is right here next to me, actually.
Oh, big Red Bull guy.
To be on later, but yeah, we just got here today. So tomorrow we're gonna head to the track and check things out. But for both of us, a big thank you to Red Bull. This has been like a dream of both of ours. I think neither of us have been to it. You haven't been to an F1, so neither of us have been to an F1 race, and I'm a pretty big fan of it these days. So I'm stoked to see how it goes this weekend.
Seth,
so awesome.
well, I'm going to make sure that Seth takes like 100 videos and pictures wherever he goes, so that because I'm going to see him on Monday. Just airdrop me everything, dude. I'm just going to drool at my phone on Monday. That's so sick that you get the opportunity to do that. But I want to make sure that everybody understands too that all of that comes with hard work, because you and Seth put a lot of work into your program. Curtis puts a lot of work into your guys' program. Like all of the stuff that you guys are doing is pretty phenomenal. Getting the whole off-road industry, the notoriety, and all of these different things. So I'm super proud of you guys. Just, I mean, you're having fun, but it's really cool to see the reality of the situation. I know Mila is stoked on it too. We asked Jessy and Dustin what their favorite go-to snack is in the car during the races. What's your guys?
Yeah, I heard that. And for me, usually I tell my dad, he says, do you want anything when you come into the pits? I say, fuel this thing up and get me out of here as quick as possible. So I don't really know what my go-to is. Usually just Vegas to Reno, throw down a PB&J or something if they can give me one.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
PB&J?
Yeah. My old co-dog liked the Uncrustables.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with those. But most of the time, like, I don't want anything. I just put fuel in the car, get me the hell out of there.
Sounds like UTV 96 is your favorite snack then.
Exactly.
Curtis, what's yours?
I would say, as much as these are like pretty disgusting, the protein gel like goo packs.
Oh yeah,
yeah, man.
I'm a big fan of
wonders. Those work wonders in the race car. Like when you're down after a few hours in the race car and you still got a few hours to go, and you have one of those, it's like right back to 100%.
Yeah, dude. So big endurance guy right here. So I do that Hammer Nutrition apple cinnamon all the time, dude. That stuff's the bomb, and it has no sugar too, so even better. But those are super good. Hey, so what you guys were talking about earlier, I forgot the question I was gonna ask. How was the overall race being up there with those guys? Like, how was it at the end? You guys ended up crossing the finish line. I think it was 12 seconds behind the leader in a Class 1 car and ahead of BJ Baldwin, who is a fantastic driver in his own right. That must have felt pretty good for you guys, obviously. But what was like, are you guys just like blown away by how this like turned out? Or like, what's the feeling at the end of the race?
I mean, for me, I was super stoked. That 12 seconds hurt a lot for sure. But we have to be really excited with second overall. For me, getting to the finish was awesome. I in my heart, I felt that we could do really well. It was just one of those things where until we were on race course actually racing, I didn't know for sure. So as the race played out, we were super comfortable and just, kind of doing our thing. And that was awesome. But I think it just goes to show what these UTVs are capable of now, and especially the Pro R. I think the car's just kind of on a different level than most stuff out there. King of the Hammers, we won by 20 minutes over the next UTV, and then this race 23 minutes. So I think it goes to show what the car can do. And a lot of people have been saying like, Silverstate's just, really good course for that car and all that type of stuff. But personally, I know what the car could do. It's faster. It's got better suspension. It's got it all. And I really think that, we're not going to be overalling Vegas to Reno against Bryce Menzies. I know that, but I really think that this car is a big evolution in UTVs, and it's going to show throughout the next, couple years, with overall times and races like Vegas to Reno. I still feel like, even in a race like that, or, Wayne Matlock did it in Baja. He had a great time there.
Well, and we're looking at him doing well in Nora right now too. Yep.
Exactly. So I think over time, the next year or two, we're going to keep learning more, keep improving them. And I think it just goes to show the Pro R and UTVs aren't just they're not just a Silverstate 300 car. Like they can go through everything. So Like personally, I'm really excited for Vegas to Reno coming up. I know that the car is going to be awesome there, and ready to show people what it can do in a course like that too.
So I remember my other question, but before I ask that question, I was going to tell Mitchy this too. Is like I'm a big fan of the Turbo S, the Razor Turbo S. So I was actually thinking about buying a Turbo S because the Pro R has limited inventory. But when I saw all of the stuff go down this at Silverstate, I was like, you know what? Like, I might get the Family Wagon Pro R now. Like, I might just hold out and get that bad boy because that thing looks so good. And the fact that now he's telling me that it doesn't blow belts, that's dude, right up my alley.
Biggest downfall, in my opinion.
Hey, you guys want to see something cool? This is some behind-the-scenes stuff right here. Check out that guy. Can you see it, Curtis?
Yeah.
So some behind the scenes of Mitch Guthrie doing a professional interview with the Dirt Life. Yeah. Thanks, Seth, for sending that in. Hey, so I do remember my question. You guys had some extra help in the pits doing some fuel stuff. We're at IMG Motorsports today, so I wanted to give a shout out.
Yeah, big thank you to James. First time having him on the team. James, we've known forever. I don't even know when I met James, but he's been around forever in racing.
OG, dude. The people's champ.
Oh, he's an OG for sure. So it was great having him out there. Everyone that knows James, he's an amazing guy. So it was pretty fun having him out there as a part of our team. And he actually hit me up and he's like, I think it's really cool what you're doing. I think you guys can do great. You know, he was all over it. He was excited because we needed another hand at the race. And I was like, are you really down? And I had a bunch of people that are like, you know, kind of said they would come out with us, but they didn't end up coming. And James was all in. He came with us, and I'm happy that we were able to get all of our crew guys, Curtis, you know, all the hard work paid off because we put a lot into these races.
Dude, yeah, I was talking to your dad a little bit about it in tech, and he's like, George, you have no idea the amount of time that Mitchie puts into his program. And he's like telling me all this stuff. He's like, Mitch actually types up all of the to-do lists, helps Curtis, you know, gives them to Curtis and all this stuff. I'm like, that's my guy now, dude, because I did the same fucking thing with all of our short course program. Everything had to be double checked, like all this stuff. Like it was so cool to hear that from Mitch Sr. Hey, so Curtis, if you're gonna give James Hill a rating on 1 to 10 of how well he did in his gas fuel pit stop, how was it?
Oh, if I had a POV of me from the car looking at him, he probably would get a few points deducted because he went in and out with the gas can a couple times. So other than that, it's like a 9 point, you know, maybe a 9.5, I would say.
Ooh, I think you did a good job there.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet, man. All right, so
I give him a 12.
You're going to give him a 12? You're going over with it? If you guys
12 seconds
9.69, perfect, Seth. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Hey, so if you guys are analytical, I know you guys do your race program really tight and you run a tight ship over there. If you guys are analytical about the performance this weekend, you want to take all of the good and all of the bad and you want to improve on it, what's the conversation that you have on the way home, or even now that you guys are done with it, what can you do better next time?
For me, I told my dad on the way back, because the whole thing with 12 seconds, we were like, damn, 12 seconds, that sucks. But for me personally, we had like a really, really perfect day out there. We only had a couple blown corners out of however many thousands of corners there are, and really no sketchy moments. And I felt like we were on the gas all day long with like a really good pace, which I think shows at the times. But I don't think there's any, like I told my dad, I don't think there's anything I would take back from that race where I'm like, damn, that's where we could have got that 12 seconds or something. And I was telling some people overall, like actually the whole 12-second thing, we ended up catching the class 1. I think he got a flat, like I said, and there was no way, even if we caught him a little bit sooner in the trees, we would have just been in his dust anyway, and he would have done the same thing in the fast stuff. So it kind of made it a little bit better, because I don't think there was a ton we could do. But overall, like Silverstate, it was a dream race for us. You know, it was perfect. Crew was on point. Curtis did amazing in the passenger seat. The car was incredible. We put a ton of test time into different stuff. Walker Evans with the shocks, they helped us out. X-Travel suspension, Polaris obviously for the car, and ton of other people that help us out. But overall, it was a pretty dream race for us.
Dude, that's so cool, man. How did you feel about it, Curtis? Same?
Yeah, it was a dream race because we really did put a lot of work and test time and just work in and out of the shop was going into this race. So it felt good for it to all come together and be worth it in the end. And now we're here. We made history.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, you know that feeling, Mila.
Yeah.
Like when you get that like self-satisfaction. But like, I know these two are both sitting there, and you know exactly what I'm going to say when I say this. Like, they want more.
Oh, yeah. It's such a good feeling when the payoff is good after all the blood, sweat, tears, sleepless nights, and checklists. And then even when you're there, you're like, okay, Mitch said the 12 seconds, he couldn't have made it up, but next race he's going to be like, okay, 12 seconds.
Yeah,
I could possibly
you
get
know
to the top,
it, dude.
You know? So you always got the next level in the back of your head.
Yeah, so what's the next on the list for you guys?
For me, we have Andalusia Rally, so that's a rally in Spain, and then Vegas to Reno in August is the big one. And yeah, like you guys were just saying, I'm excited for Vegas to Reno. It's like you said, it's like you're pushing for the next thing always, and a lot of people were kind of hating on us at this race, and then we got second overall, and then it's like, where are they at now? And I've been hearing now a lot of ifs, like, if this guy was here, they would have beat you, and this course was perfect for that car and all this stuff. So I'm excited for Vegas to Reno. I want to go prove those people wrong now.
Yeah, dude, not to mention, like, if other people want to be competitive in that class, you have now paved the way. So then you're like, dude, more competition? Let's go.
Yeah, man. Well, I think it's going to make that car sell, right? So people are going to look at that car and go, it's fully capable. I'm just going to go buy that. And, I don't have to, blood, sweat, and tears on like a class 10. I'm going to go have just as much fun with an all-wheel drive.
Basically what you're saying is you and I can split driving duties and passenger duties. We get a Pro R, and we'll go see if we can give these dudes a run for the money.
Yeah, man.
I'm in.
Anything for those F1 tickets.
He's gonna wax us, but we'll at least try.
Yeah. Hey, just a quick shout to Mitch. I like my champions humble, and Mitch and I just know each other in passing. He doesn't know who I am, but when I was with Serapis, blah, blah, blah. But I posted on Instagram that Mitchie hurting some feelings after Silverstate. And, we don't follow each other or anything, but he said thanks. That's a big deal to a lot of people. Not, me, I think it's cool, but a lot of times your racers will see that and they won't even acknowledge it. And you're like, hey, dude, I was a fan.
Yeah.
And just showing appreciation, man. Good for you. Keep it up.
Yeah, big Mitch Guthrie fan over here.
Just trying to get those F1 tickets, man.
All right, hey, we're going to get Max Eddy and Austin Eddy on in just a second here, so let's kind of round it out. Throw some shouts-outs real quick.
Yeah, you guys are breaking up for me a little bit, but if you can hear me, like I said before, huge shout-out to our crew, my mom and dad, who are always at the races with us, supporting me. Curtis, who put a ton of time in helping in the shop and ton of work on the car. Sid Wright, he did great at the race. That's a huge race for a co-driver, is Silverstate with all those corners.
It's hard.
Polaris, of course, for the awesome platform. Red Bull, Walker Evans Shocks, X Travel System, VP Race Fuels, a ton of other people help us out.
How about you, Curtis? Throw some shouts-outs.
Our team really did put a lot of work into this race too. It's a huge chase race, going pit to pit, and they didn't really have to do much all day because the car was flawless and we didn't have any problems. But other than gas us up, and our team, James, Nick, Mitch, Steph, Jarrett, Daryl, they all were just great the whole time. And our sponsors, Brian from Walker Evans, helped us put in a lot of shock testing, and X Travel guys really did help us a lot. They have come to the shop and helped us with anything we needed on that front suspension, any questions, and set it up perfectly, and it worked great for us. Thanks to those guys at X Travel, Nestor, James, all of them.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to both of you guys, too, because you guys put in so much work, dude. Like, I get so much satisfaction out of understanding the level of effort that goes into these programs. And you guys are both still pretty young, and I've raced against Mitchie in short course racing and stuff, and now to see the fact that you guys are up there paving the way and doing these types of things, everybody is proud of you guys. So keep it going, man. We're stoked.
100%.
Thank
All
you
right, guys. Thank you.
Hey, Mitch, let me know when you want that dinner for those tickets. Steakhouse, it's on me, bro.
FaceTime him when you're next to Max, dude.
All right, yeah, I got to go to dinner with Max right now.
All right, we'll see you boys later. Hey, have fun in Miami, and we'll see you later, Curtis. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Super cool.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
I like the fact that you were saying like the humbleness, both Curtis and Max, your boy is going to be eating dinner with Max. Mitchie are both so good and humble guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's so good to see. And, like, they're both young. Like, they both have the opportunity to be cocky if they wanted to, but they're not.
He's a Red Bull driver. That's like in my opinion, the top of the food chain. It's easy to get cocky. So
100%. Hey, so
100%
while we
for
wait
him.
for Max and Austin to come on, I want to show these products to everybody. So if you guys can see this and read it, it's pretty badass here. This is the new Evolution Power Sports and Motul oil change kits that are offered. This particular one has our boy Jacob Zacone on it for a Can-Am. But this has all the stuff you need to change the oil in your UTV. Like, one of the best things that Motul has done is put together a whole package. So now all you got to do is go down to, Evolution Power Sports in this case, or like IMG here, and buy the kit. You can change your oil, dude. It's so sick.
good idea.
Pretty badass, right?
Yeah, and Todd and Jacob are good people. So.
Yeah, fantastic dudes. And then you can spray it off with some Shine and Go, make it all nice and shiny. But super stoked that those guys are doing all that stuff. So, yeah, thanks, Curtis. Awesome talking with you, too. So we'll wait for Max and Austin to jump on here. But in the meantime, let's just say you're part of Mitchie's team, and you have a breakthrough like that. Like, what's the next step? Like, what are you doing Monday at the shop? What are you doing Tuesday at the shop? Like, where do you go from there?
Well, if it was me, my role would be Curtis's role. The first thing I would do is tear the car down. Okay, is there anything that would have maybe not let us be 12 seconds behind? That would be my role. And then building from there, you go, okay, what can we build off of? We had a great race. He said it was a darn near perfect race. So it's kind of hard to build off that, but you have to break each mile down.
Right.
To get better.
So the devil's in the details at that point.
100%. And at this point, races are won or lost most of the time in the garage now, in the shop.
That's a super good point to bring up. All right, and let's actually bring in. And so now we got looks like Max Eddy and Austin Eddy both joining us. What's up, boys? How are you? Congratulations on the Pro NA win at Silverstate 300.
Thank you.
Dude, you got the whole crew there, huh?
Well, these desert races ain't won by just the driver.
Dude, I like it, dude.
Oh, it's a team effort.
Yeah, for sure. So Max is a good friend of ours. Austin is as well. So welcome to the show, guys. Silverstate 300 went pretty good. You guys debuted a new car and got it done, dude. So first, let's ask Max, like, how did it go?
It was surprisingly well. You always hear about new car blues and working the bugs out of them for the first year. It takes a little while, but we didn't really have any of that. We kind of had a solid day. Obviously, we have a ton of stuff to improve on at the end of the day, but the car was good. It's a super good starting point. So.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how that stuff works out. Hey, since Instagram kind of smushes your screen, why don't all you guys that are in the back sit closer together, just snuggle up, and then we can see Max turn the phone a little bit more towards you so we can see your face. Austin, you guys put in a lot of work to get to the Silverstate and to get the race going, dude. What do you think about being out there and getting things done?
I think it was good. It went all smooth for us in the new car, and I was stoked to come home with that win. Couldn't have been done without all those guys in the background back there, and it was super fun with all of them.
All right,
it was
Max.
a super fun.
Yeah, and the track was actually pretty cool too. It looked like it was a good track this year. Max, since you do have everybody there, introduce everybody that was part of your crew.
All right, we'll start. And this isn't just my pick. This is everyone. Like, these guys come down to help me with the car. We built this car 100% in-house. And they come down here and help me with the car. And, we've been friends for 25, 30 years, and we race dirt bikes together, cars, bicycles, whatever you can name it. So we'll start with Jason right here, Mansfield Grading. This is Robbie. He owns Barstow Tire and Brakes. So you guys are ever in Barstow, you need some help with tires, alignments, whatever. Drew, his son, and my son Connor.
Yeah, dude.
But we're missing a couple. We had them all lined up to come out the other night when the internet was a little sketchy, but these guys get it out.
Yeah, it's cool to see though. Like, I love seeing the whole vibe like that. First of all, hi guys. I know all those guys, so it's good to see all you guys. All right, so let's boil down and dig into the races a little bit here. So you have a new car. Like you said, you built it all in-house. And what I like about that is, actually, Mila, I would like you to chime in a little bit about this. When you go into, Max is an avid two-wheel off-road racer.
Yep. Savage.
Yeah. And he dips into the four-wheel racing now in a UTV with four-wheel parts and Polaris. And he decides to go at this on his own, build the car on his own. Like, how do you think that's going to go? I mean, you're fabricating, you're doing all the parts, you're doing everything.
Well, Max obviously has, the background to go with it. It's just a new adventure, right? So he's got the experience driving. Obviously, we talked about the two-wheel guys. We always have a better line reading than the four-wheel guys that didn't have two-wheel experience.
It's like you can see stuff that others can't.
Yeah, well, the way you read it and the way you process it is just a little bit different than the guys that have only been in four wheels. So basically, it just comes down to the car. And you guys said it was a new car. So tackling that, I don't know how new, first race, couple 100 miles. Either way, it's a phenomenal feat.
Yeah, dude, totally. And learning how to make a car do that, like Max did in his garage,
his garage. Yeah.
It's pretty badass, man. So kudos to all the guys behind you and you, Max, for doing all that stuff. But let's get a understanding of when you get the car to the track. Are you nervous? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, a little bit. So we get there. We put about 80 miles on the car testing and doing a little suspension tuning. We go race and we're like, we think it's 100%. So we go and then we're sitting on the starting line. We're 119th car off the line, and we wait there for over an hour. Or we started a minute apart. So we get up to the third from the green flag and the car dies out and won't restart.
Oh, never fails.
And, oh no, what the heck, so we're trying to diagnose that, and there was no fuel pressure, so we just went straight to the fuse block, and there was a 10 amp fuse in the for the fuel pump. Well, with a different tank and a bigger fuel pump, I guess it needed a bigger fuse. So we found that out on the starting line. I just threw a 30 amp that was in the car, threw it in there, and it worked all day. But just kind of finding little bugs like that. It's not the ideal place to find it, but it kind of worked out for us. And
thank God you found it at the starting line instead of in the middle of the race.
Well, yeah, we didn't miss our starting position. We put the new fuse in, and then I jumped back in and buckled up and basically pulled right up to the green flag and was like, well, whatever, here goes nothing, we got to go. And
that's the crazy thing about having a new build. It's stuff like that that's always gonna, you don't even like miss it or think about it, or it's different, and then it'll come back to bite you. Like George just said, good thing it was at the start line though.
Yeah, dude, totally. Yeah. It's always those little things, dude. The devil's in the details when you build your cars.
How much is a 10 amp fuse?
Yeah,
a penny?
Exactly. Dude. Austin, were you stoked when you guys got to the starting line? You just ready to go, amped up, or what was your vibe?
Yeah, going up to the starting line, I don't even know. There are so many thoughts running through your head. Like, what do we do right in the shop? Is it gonna last the whole race? Like the new car blues, really. I think the whole team was just, I don't know, hoping to get to the finish, and that would have been good for us.
Yeah, I guess that's true, right, Max? Because you guys have, like Austin just said, the new car blues. You don't know what's going to happen. You're just going out there and just kind of, I don't even know. You just.
Did you have the mindset of a win is going to be in the finish on this race?
Oh, I talked to him a week before. He wanted to win.
Okay.
Yeah.
We all want to win, but with the new car, it's always the, fingers crossed, fuel pump fuse blows.
Yeah, well, we try. Obviously, we set our goals as high as we can on the win. We want to win. We're not going to accept anything else. So we just make sure that gets done right in the shop and try to correct everything on the way to before the race. Last night we were doing a little bit of more testing after the race before we start prepping the car for Vegas to Reno, and we were doing night testing last night, and I blew another fuse for the lights on the stock headlights. So kind of learned something else there, and always obviously trying some different stuff with the clutching and the motor and everything else. Luckily, Josh and the guys down at Cryo, he hooked us up, running their Pro Mod transmission and motor package and stuff, and this car rips. This car, it's a naturally aspirated car. The clutching's perfect, and we got it up to 90 miles an hour.
Damn,
that's fast,
dude. That's crazy. Yeah, you guys built a little rocket ship then. So how was the whole race? I mean, like Mitchie and Curtis were just telling us that it went pretty smooth for them. Like it was almost a perfect race. So do you guys have the same kind of feeling, or did you guys run into any issues?
No, generally speaking, it was a fast, smooth race. We didn't really have no big issues. Some little improvements we can make. The car didn't like to turn on the flat roads. It turned great. We get into the deep 2-track, like rutted out corners and stuff. It wanted to bicycle real bad. So we're working through that little issue last night and yesterday and the next few weeks leading up to Vegas to Reno, trying to improve the cornering of the car. But other than that, I don't really have any complaints. We got to do something a little bit different with the bumper. We nerfed the car and it bent our lights all back and ripped the hood off of the car. But
Austin's sitting there going, I told you not to nerf him. I told you not to do it.
I tell the guys, like, so much
That's on
go around.
bump them away. We were just sitting.
It's faster to go around people, than waste your time to bump them. So I tell the guys, no, we're not going to bump them. We don't need no more of a bumper than what's there. Just leave it. And then I go and bend the lights back and rip the hood off. So.
Figures, right? So two things. Sarah Price said Mitchie is my hero. So thanks for watching, Sarah. Really appreciate that. But so Max, I love that you're talking about this because we just asked Mitch Guthrie the same kind of question, and it's about you just won the race. Like, you did very good. Like, there's nobody in front of you, right? But he comes back to the shop on Monday and Tuesday, and he's already getting improvements. He already knows what he's going to do for the next race. Like, that's such a good mental attitude to have, like, to keep pushing forward. I don't think a lot of racers understand how much value that possesses in a program.
Yeah, well, it's kind of the same aspect on coming from dirt bikes, right? You go race on the weekend and you don't come park your bike in the garage and let it sit for a month or two. You wash it and you get on your road bike and you try to improve your fitness, because on a dirt bike, it's usually the fitness, right?
Yep.
We just kind of take the same aspect into racing these cars to just, it's a lot of work. But it's a goal that we set that we're trying to achieve,
Hey, so we just had a comment come in. It said, I forgot who it said, but did Joe get some Pringles running through the pits?
I don't think so. Jay, no.
Jay?
Who commented that?
I don't know. It just passed by. I couldn't see it. So that's funny, though. Big Pringles guy over there or what?
Yeah, this one right here. We had to confiscate him at the 1,000.
That's hilarious, dude.
Don't believe him.
So, but these guys, dude, so with this new program and new trucks and new fueling system and everything else, we obviously try to save as much time in the pits or whatever. So, but these guys did so good all week or all day in the pits and never missed a beat. I think our fuel stops were like 5-10 second fuel stops, you know.
Nice.
Which, if you're going to do it, you might as well do everything you can, including in the pits.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like, I was so proud when I heard you guys were doing so good, and I was kind of getting the updates because I was down here in Southern California during the race, and I was just like, man, like, Max and Austin must feel so good because him and the team have put in so much effort to get this vehicle on the course. I mean, I know all the racers are like that, but since our personal connect, yeah, it just feels good when you have that vibe going, right? And I'm hearing that they're out front. I'm like, dude, hold it together. Let's go, boys.
Well, look at Max. Max has got his family with him, and I'm saying off-road family. And then, dude, that circle right there, that's what's going to get you to the finish every time, whether it's good or bad. So you got to be that way.
Yeah.
I think sometimes they don't. I mean, it's always an adventure with us, you know. I'm gonna let these guys tell you our campsite. So we decided, instead of staying in Vegas in a hotel and driving up, we're like, hey, let's just take our tents and cots and we'll sleep out underneath the stars.
We'll find some trees and water.
Yeah, we're looking for green trees and water to hang out and camp. Well, we ended up staying in Area 51 on extraterrestrial highway.
Nice.
Underneath the stars. So,
but it was a what was it? Premium
spot.
Premium spot.
Really?
For an Alamo, talk to Max. It's a primo spot.
Solid Jake break.
Did you guys see any aliens?
No, we saw a lot of diesel trucks and jig brakes were.
So literally nobody's getting any sleep.
All night.
Oh, that's hilarious. Did you guys grill out too?
Oh yeah.
What'd you guys cook on?
We brought a barbecue and everything.
Did you guys get some good stuff, Austin?
Yeah, we got hamburgers.
Simply put. Oh, that's good. Did anything else happen while you guys were camping out? That's pretty freaking cool that he's doing that. I know that for the Sonora Rally, Max camped out and did all that stuff too. So I think it's neat that you guys are experience all that.
Make it an adventure, also a race.
Dude, we had a good time. It was.
Oh, Jay just said hash browns.
Yeah. We didn't really expect to be kept up all night by diesel trucks and horns and Jake brakes coming to the stop sign, but you know what? Like, we had a good time. We probably got 2 or 3 hours worth of sleep the night before, but how often do you get to do that with your buddies, you know?
Dude, it's the opportunities like that mean so much. Hey, so Ricky Braybeck and Sarah Price just asked the question and said, Max, we are almost to the river. Are you coming?
We're working on it.
Okay. They got to get off this janky little dirt life show so they can hit the road. Hey, so just a couple more questions for you guys. What was your favorite portion of the race, Austin?
I don't know. I like the high elevation and the tree stuff. That was really fun. I think that whole race, it was super fun. It was probably the hardest race as a navigator. That was super hard.
Yeah, because there was so much drama on the track too.
Well, a lot of co-dogs get sick on that race too, because it's
so like
in the shadows and up and down. It's just a lot.
How about you, Max? What was your favorite portion of the race?
The post-race testing. I like going to see what you need to do and coming home and solving problems and making stuff better. I guess.
Yep. I think that's why Max and I get along so well, is we're real goal-oriented. Like, that's what gives us fulfillment.
Push and push and push.
Yeah, exactly. All right, final question of the night, boys. You can go around the room there. What's the go-to snack at the races?
Pringles.
Crustables for sure. Even if you can't find them in Mexico, find Crustables.
Hash browns.
Yeah, there you go, hash browns. Connor, what's yours? Tacos?
Hash browns.
Hash browns. All right, Max, and then we'll go to Austin last. What's yours, Max?
Peanut butter and honey sandwich.
There you go.
That's a good one, dude.
That's a real good one.
Crunchy or smooth?
Sometimes with bananas in them, they're good.
Crunchy peanut butter or smooth peanut butter?
Crunchy.
It's even better.
All right, Austin.
I don't think this race, our pits were like 5 seconds, and I was doing something the whole time, so we didn't have nothing. But I think probably Reese's, the peanut butter cups.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I think this whole Eddy family just likes peanut butter in general, dude.
I
Pretty
love
good.
peanut butter.
Hey, well, thank you, boys. First of all, congratulations. Throw a couple shouts-outs before we get Justin Smith from Shock Therapy on.
Obviously I want to say thanks to these guys, my whole team, Austin for putting up with me in the car and navigating for me. And then obviously 4 Wheel Parts, Polaris, Yokohama Tire, Josh at Cryo, he put together a super badass motor and training package for us. And Fox, Baja Bound Insurance, KMC Wheels, Sparko, VP Rate, Mike at VP, and all the guys down there. Thank you guys very much.
You forgot. Yeah, I was going to say Craig, our bike buddy, Craig Scanlon.
You guys saved the best for last. Yeah, Craig at SMG, that kind of got me started in all this and kind of opened the door for me. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Dude, you guys are kicking butt. All right, Austin.
For that whole list you just said, especially those guys in the background, they did an amazing job in the pits the whole time.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic that they have such a good program, right?
Dude, it makes everything better when your program's tight like that.
It really does. We've actually talked about this before. All right, boys, we're going to let you go. Congratulations on the win. Both of you guys did a fantastic job, and everybody on the team. It's good to see you guys. And, dude, thank you guys all for joining us, man, getting the whole team together, Max. That means a lot to everybody at the Dirt Life Show. So we really appreciate it, guys. We'll catch you later.
Right on. Thanks, George.
See you guys. All right, so we are going to get Justin from Shock Therapy on. We're going to talk a little bit about his race. Unfortunately, it didn't go that well. They were actually running really good. What do they say? You're running good until you weren't? Is that what the...
We were winning until we weren't.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get Justin from Shock Therapy on, and he can give us a little bit more info on the race that he had. Pretty interesting event, though. They came out with a newly revised or rebuilt car. Car was fantastic too, dude. Looks like it was working so good. Yeah, unfortunate circumstances for those guys. So we'll get Justin on here in just a second and see how I did. Let's see if we can get him on here. He just got a new phone, so.
What happened to the car that smoked the cow and Parker?
They chopped it in half, and this was the same car, but they redid the whole front clip. So. Good car, though. That car was really good.
Fast.
Yeah, totally fast, too. Justin, I don't know if it's going to let us. Make sure you update your app, Justin. Click on the App Store and then go to the little icon at the top right and then update the Instagram app and then try to log on again. We've had some Instagram issues. Yeah, it's gonna need to be updated. So, just update the app and then we can get you on. We had Instagram issues on Monday, too, so. When you see that, like, you've worked for some pretty phenomenal teams, whether you're driving truck in the passenger seat or helping behind the scenes, like when you see that vibe that Max just had, like with the whole family being involved, right? Cousins, friends, brothers, sisters, all of this stuff, nephews, everybody is involved, right? Like every time I see it, I get like heartfelt, like it's so cool. Like, how does that, go with you?
Well, I'm Mr. Positive at the race. Like, I try and surround my crew with positive people because it takes one bad apple to bring the whole level down, right? 100%. So when you have your family and your friends and everyone's in a good mood, it doesn't matter at the end of the day what happens, whether you win or lose. If everyone's in a good mood and positive and everyone's just thinking good things, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm a firm believer in it.
And then and they take it to the next level, right? They go ahead and they barbecue and they have fun.
Yeah,
like,
they're having an adventure.
I mean, like, we honestly probably could have talked nothing about the racing and talked about all the fun stuff that happened with the Pringles and the barbecuing and sitting, like, camping out underneath the
Area 51,
the lights. Like, how cool is that? You know what I mean?
It's a life experience, right? So we do racing for the life experience.
Yep.
And then if you take that and then add the camping under the stars, dude, out in the middle of the desert.
Dude, so cool. They didn't get very much sleep, but they still went out and got the job done. So it's cool. 7 FPV, great show. Yeah, it looks like it was a cool event. It definitely was a cool event. And it wasn't just a cool event for the winners either. Like, it was a cool event for everybody. There was so many people that went out there and didn't have the best race. but I heard a lot of people when they came back, and they were so positive, and they really liked the way that the event flowed. So
that's good.
Kudos to Best in the Desert for doing that. And also, while we wait for Justin, Vito Renullo, congratulations to him for coming home with the Pro Turbo win. Joe Tirana came home second, and Dustin Jones came home third. So those guys were on the pipe too. They were really hauling coming through the pack too. So Bruce, let's wait till 7 o'clock to get you on, man. We're gonna have Justin from Shock Therapy on. So let's see here, see if we can get Justin back on. Maybe see if the app is updated.
Yeah, I can't emphasize enough a positive environment. You know, when I raced with Tisco back before they had their race shop, you know, even if we had bad races, the whole environment, we had so many people, an average of 20 guys there, and everybody was in a good mood. The bad apple never came back, and that was the environment. It was the family, the fun, and the adventure.
Did you have bad instances that you saw that vibe and you were like, never letting that happen again, or how did it?
So every now and again, someone would bring someone else. And then that person would not generally vibe with everybody, and everybody would kind of migrate away from that person to keep the vibe up.
Yeah, totally. Jay Wiggle said, yeah, give the Weekend Warrior motos some love. Dude, so, well, two things. First of all, I want to get some more moto in my life. I think it'd be fun to get out there. But, yeah, not just the Weekend Warriors, like everybody out there, man. We give so many people love. Like, Max is literally doing it like kind of half and half, right? He's got a professional team. He's got a winning situation and a winning program, but he's also doing it and keeping it kind of grassroots. Like, that's so cool. Yep. So I totally agree with the way that they're running the program.
Well, aside from the money situation, being grassroots, in my opinion, is more fun.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, there's a lot of cool shit that happens on the big level with the trophy truck guys and all that stuff.
Yeah. But sometimes you gotta, you know, depending on the team, the fun's not always there, and there's a lot of teams that have a lot of fun at that level, but the grassroots guys have just as much fun. You're not missing much.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Let me see here if I can get Justin back on here. So, yeah, it really is though. Like, that's the whole vibe that we want in racing, right?
Just in life, man. I just try and be positive in life.
Okay, so Justin, I just sent you a request. Hopefully it'll come through. I'm not sure if it'll work or not. And if it doesn't, Justin, no big deal. We saw that you also had a live feed earlier today that talked a lot about your guys' racing as well. So that was super cool. I was able to watch all that stuff. So you guys, if Justin isn't able to come on, you can always go to the Shock Therapy page and check out their videos, and they're on YouTube and Facebook as well. He had a whole bunch of good information walking around the race car showing what happened, and it was really cool to be able to see that. So going back to what we're talking about the grassroots stuff, I raced Lucas Oil for, I think it was 3 years before I started getting support from Yamaha. And I love that support. That was always my goal, was to be able to get like a factory ride and to move forward and do all that stuff, right? But once that happened, it took a lot of the fun away. Like, it wasn't. Yeah, it really was. And I don't mean that as a bad thing, right? Because I was on a roll. Like, I was moving forward. Like, I was making all these goals happen. But I remember we couldn't, like, there were so many people in our pits. We couldn't eat hamburgers anymore. We couldn't just grill out and hang out. Like, there was so many things happening. And not either of them's good or bad, but I miss those, like, local grassroots vibes so much when I was on the other end.
Well, doesn't it take to, let's say you get Yamaha. Yamaha's a big company, right? So you get sponsorship from them. That's a big load to carry mentally, right? So now do you feel like, okay, now I really have to perform, and it adds, let's say, twice as much stress? And that's kind of what takes the fun out of it also, right?
And especially because I'm so goal-oriented and so detail-oriented, it really, really hurt me mentally because it was so much more of a load for me. Like, I wanted to kind of take it back to the grassroots thing. It was just difficult. But and I don't think any of it was bad.
No.
I just think it was completely different. So when everybody says, oh, I need sponsors and I want to do all this stuff, I'm always like, you don't.
Yeah.
like take it easy, just like what you said. Do it one race at a time. Have
Start
fun,
small.
enjoy it. Like those are the things that will mean the most when you end your racing career.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like so. I think sponsors are amazing. They help support the program, all these things.
Sponsors
But
are necessary.
when you go through the process, just enjoy it, man. You don't have to push that hard. Like all of these guys that are watching the show and a part of this stuff, it's just, man, racing is such a good place to be. All right, we got a bunch of requests coming in. Justin, I don't know, man. It's not letting us do it. So why don't you guys go back and check out the Shock Therapy Instagram live feed and YouTube live feed that they had today, and just go through and look at what Justin did over the weekend. He has tons and tons of good information on there. In fact, it's cooler because they go around with their phone and their cameras and stuff, and they're able to see the cars. So go check that out. Justin, thank you very much for trying, dude. I really appreciate it. But we're gonna get Bruce Benquist on right now, and then follow up with Seth Quintero. Actually, I wonder if we should get Seth first if they're going to dinner with Max.
No, make him wait. I'm
All
just
right,
kidding.
let's get Bruce on real quick. Seth, we got to wait a little bit. I think
I was kidding, Seth.
your slot is at 6:40, so hopefully we can get Bruce on here. Maybe you guys have to talk together. Bruce Benquist, what's going on, dude? We can't hear you, buddy.
No voice.
No audio, Ben. Hopefully you're not covering up the microphone. I can't hear you, dude. Maybe we are going to get Seth Quintero on here. All right, Bruce, we're going to have to have you disconnect, man. We can't hear you at all.
No audio.
No audio whatsoever, buddy. So maybe just close it out and then try to get back on. Come back on in about 15 minutes, though. We're going to get Seth Quintero on real quick, and then we'll get you on. Send another request in just about 15 minutes here. So you can just press that red X or that white X right at the top of the screen. Seth Quintero, what's up, buddy? How are you?
What's up?
Look at these guys, dude. I thought is Max there with you too?
Yeah. Actually, he's probably gonna knock on the door here in a second. So if you hear a knock, I gotta run and grab that.
Okay, perfect. Dude, I think you guys are killing Mila right now, dude. He's so mad.
Yeah, I'm pretty envious. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, so Silverstate 300, dude. Like, you've been doing some badass rally stuff and DAKAR, all of these different things, and now you're back in the United States racing. Like, I was honestly thinking, like, how does it feel being back in the United States? Because, like, that's where you grew up. That's where you started, right? And then all of a sudden you're back. It's like, all right, game on.
Yeah, it was. It's definitely been like a weird transition to try and balance the two, just because the European side takes so much time, like a lot more than you'd ever think. Obviously, American racing takes a lot of time too, because the same as Mitch, where we're prepping our own cars and working all on our stuff. But the European side is definitely rough, because you got 48-hour travel days alone. So
behind the scenes now of the other guy.
That's the other guy. Yeah, we traded positions.
Dude, oh man. You guys have such a good time when you guys are on all your little escapades, dude. So I like that vibe. When you come back to the United States, though, it's got to feel good. You have a lot of your, we'll call it the hometown crowd, like in Supercross and Motocross, right? Because you got mom, dad, you got all your friends. Like, it's a whole different deal.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, coming back to the States is always nice, getting back to your roots. I mean, I would be, nowhere without, the off-road racing that I've done today or the racing I've done today inside the States. I wouldn't have had the opportunities to go out and do Dakar or all these other rallies and all these rad opportunities that I'm getting. So it's always nice to come back and see everybody, familiar faces, and be comfortable.
See, have you ever done Silverstate before?
Yeah, I've done Silverstate a couple times. We've won it a couple times this year. I was hoping to win it. Unfortunately, I had an issue at about mile marker 40, 45. That cost us a little bit too much time to try to make up the rest of that back, but did our best. And it was a really good step in the right direction with that car. We haven't had the best of luck with it. But
what car were you racing?
I was racing the Pro XP. I've had that car for about a year and a bit now, just with all the European racing and a couple of struggles that we've had trying to build that car. We haven't had the best of luck, but now at this point, obviously we've done well, and hopefully we can keep continuing to do well and Vegas Dream should be a good time.
Yeah, it's a solid platform. I'm glad to see you. Like, I was stoked just to see your face at the races. You know what I mean? Like, it was rad to see that you were back in the United States racing. I know the vibes were high with, like, Air Dog was just pumped on it. Like, everybody was stoked, right? So when you go out there, is it like, I don't know, is the expectation or, like, level of excitement different? Because you know it, you're comfortable with it, and all of a sudden you got all your crew around?
Yeah, for sure. It's almost like, I showed up to Tech, and it's almost like a guessing game to whether I'm going to be there or not at this point. But I try to be there as much as possible. Obviously try to make all the sponsors happy. And really off-road racing in America is really what I love to do, and hopefully I can keep continuing to do that for a long time. It's just something about it, the vibe, your friends, and even with, being with Red Bull and Polaris and having a lot of these major manufacturers behind my back, we keep it pretty grassroots. I mean, my dad's my main crew chief. I got one of my best friends as my co-pilot. My grandpa as a chase guy. So yeah, we definitely keep pretty grassroots and try to have fun with it. So it's a way different vibe than what it is over when we go overseas.
Gramps is holding it down too.
That just goes back to what we were talking about with the sponsorship. He goes overseas, it's all unfamiliar, and he's got more stress to try and push through to get to that drive.
Well, Seth's also young, so it's a little bit different, right? Like, he's in a different country, like, he's navigating all this stuff. Though that's why I'm saying, like, he's got to feel super comfortable when he comes back to the United States.
Yeah,
all right, so you get to the track and you're just like seeing all your friends, everything's good, like, you prepared for the race. Like, are you just like, man, we got some serious competition, but I think I can go out there and kill it?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, the level of talent and the ability to get to, the top step of the podium, at least in my class and a lot of other classes nowadays, is nuts. This class it seems like it never stops growing, and the talent's never shy of amazing. So you never know. I mean, like, sometimes you don't know what people, random people pop up and you wouldn't know their name, and all of a sudden, you're battling for a top 5 with them. So yeah, there's a lot of people that are talented and can win, and it's going to keep getting tougher for sure.
Yeah, it's cool. So the top, you ended up coming across the line in 4th, right? So Vitor Anulio first, Joe Tirana in 2nd, and Dustin Jones, and then you?
Yep.
That's some pretty heavy competition, dude. And those guys have been making a mark, like at the Mint 400 and all of these things. How do you feel about the level of competition now in UTV racing, especially at the last race?
Yeah, no, the level of competition, like I was saying, it just keeps growing and growing and growing, and I don't want to get too far behind that ball. But these guys are spending so much time on their cars and testing, and they have the opportunities to go out and then do a lot of these races, because I think all of us off-road racers, racers in general, there's nothing like, a race scenario. You can do all the testing in the world that you want, but until you get to race day, you don't really know what's going to go down. So definitely talking about a little bit of a disadvantage with that. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be so much fun the rest of the year. And I have no plans of quitting off-road racing, on the American side anytime soon. Hopefully this is, my job for the next 20, 30 years. I mean, I'm only 19 years old, so I for sure got some time in me. I got a lot of spunk in me. But yeah, the fire's still lit, and hopefully we can keep it going.
Yeah, dude, you're doing a good job. So one of the things that he just brought up, like that I was going to ask him, actually you'd probably be more interested in the answer to this question too, is like, he loves racing in the United States, but there's a massive difference, right? He's talking about all the guys that put in so much effort, like let's just say in this case, the Best in the Desert series. Like, these guys are focused, right? Like, and Seth has to jump around and go to all these places. Mitch has to jump around and go to all these places. They do rally races. They do, I don't know what you want to call it, just like events that aren't racing and stuff like that, and then comes back and has to compete against these guys that are solely focused on this stuff. That's a pretty big task to do, right?
Especially at 19.
Yeah, especially at 19. But then, like, to go above and beyond that, my question is more along the lines of, like, how is it different, like, racing in, like, let's just say a rally event compared to what you just did at Silverstate? Because it's like apples to oranges, dude. Like, you're full wood at Silverstate. Those other races, I mean, there's more strategy, there's more logistics.
Well,
like,
sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
Not only that, but if I'm not mistaken, that OT3 car is polar opposite than what you drive over here, right?
Yeah, and just like you said, that car is, it's got a 6-speed sequential, and it's very low to the ground, not a lot of travel, 30-inch tires, and you're really trying to conserve a pace that'll last for, like, Dakar is 2 weeks long. You're trying to conserve a pace for 2 weeks and not make one mistake. And then you come to the States, and I'm, running 32-inch tires, double the travel, CVT, so I'm not shifting anything, and obviously a body roll, and you're wide open. I mean, these guys are on the gas nonstop, and it's definitely hard to transition from trying to figure out the pace and hold that for 2 weeks, not make a mistake, and then come over here and like, all right, don't make a mistake, but you're going to be wide open for 300 miles where, Dakar, we're doing 300 miles a day, and we got to figure out how to make that all work for 2 weeks. So it's two completely different mindsets. That's probably one of the main struggles, bouncing back and forth. The car thing, Mitch and I can both hop around cars and feel pretty comfortable pretty quickly just because, we've been in races for a long time, and we can come back to our roots and feel at home. So that's not too big of an issue. But, yeah, obviously the mindset is super hard to bounce back from.
It's kind of crazy, right? Like, just to think about all that versatility, or diversity, I guess is the right word, in their driving skills.
Yeah, it's very diverse. And then, from what I know, the car is completely different, right? So it'd be like getting in a F-150 and then jumping in an Audi and trying to finish, right? So he's super familiar with his UTV, but then he goes over and waxes the competition in a car that is like the F-150 compared to the Audi.
What I'm hearing you say is like, yeah, he's a wheelman, right?
Yeah,
hey,
you gotta hand it to him.
That's cool though. Hey, so when you're over there and you're doing all that stuff, what is like the cooking? Like, what are you guys grilling out on? Like, what's Air Dog wanting to grill?
That's one thing that I think I miss the most. Leaving the States, the food. I've gotten to experience a lot of different cultures, a lot of different places. Mitch and I have both done a lot of traveling. And I'm sorry to say it, but nothing beats California food. I'll continue to say it for as long as I live. I mean, we got it pretty lucky over here. I bring waffle makers with me. I bring 20 pounds of food with me to every race I go.
Nice.
It's not food's horrible, but sometimes we're in these race scenarios. We're up at 6 a.m. We don't get back to the bivouac when we're racing on the European side till 6, 7 p.m. We got nothing in between, and at that point, you don't really want to go eat some bivouac food, which is really, bivouac food, if you talk to anybody, isn't the best of food. It's hard to get down for sure and get your nutrients in you. So we bring a lot of food with us, a lot of healthy stuff. Mitch does, at least. I bring a lot of junk food just because, I like to feel like I'm
big hot Cheeto guy, big taco guy, big pokey guy. Like, I want to see like what his question is at the end of this little interview here. That's going to be a good one. All right. So when you're going down the track, it's you and Colby Wemple. He's your co-driver. How do you feel? Like, are you feeling like, dude, I'm killing it right now? Or you're like, man, you know what? I think we could actually push a little harder. Like, what's the vibe in the car?
So that's a tough one, just because when you're in going back to the bouncing back and forth thing, when you're in the OT3 and you find the flow, you can feel it just because you're doing a lot of movement in that car. You're shifting, you got a clutch, you got to steer, you got to do all of it, and you got to look out for everything. And then you get in a Polaris where I wouldn't say it's easier to drive, but it's a lot more mellow to drive. So you don't it's hard to get back on that mindset of being wide open all the time. But most of the time, we gauge off of, the cars in front of us, cars behind us. When we get into a pit, or, my crew will get on the radio, like, hey, you're, this place on time. So we kind of can justify, all right, well, we ran a good pace here to here, and we picked it up from here to here, and now we're sitting at this place. So it's obviously pretty tough to try to figure out where you're at. But yeah, like you were saying, Colby and I definitely know when we're picking up pace and driving low, or when we're driving conservative pace, which is still a fast pace. Not saying that we're on a Sunday cruise, because you can't do that, but yeah, it's definitely tough to figure it out, especially with so many of these talented drivers nowadays. I mean, I know I'm only 19, but I've been in the sport a very, very long time, and I've watched the level of talent, especially with these kids, double and triple, quadruple, whatever it is. Like, the talent that's coming up behind me is just, it's going to take over pretty quickly.
It's pretty crazy, right? And then, so where did you guys start? Do you, because you obviously finished fourth, but did you have to pass a bunch of dudes? Like, how did the race go?
Yeah, so we started 28th in our class. I believe 81st overall is what we were sitting at. We knew we were going to sit in dust, but that's that race. I mean, that race is really dusty and in very single lines, so you got to be a really good dust driver. And again, run that pace where you're on that fine line of breaking something, because you're going to blow a corner into a tree, or you're on this guy's bumper in the dust. But yeah, I mean, we ran an awesome race. We had about 10 minutes of downtime with one little issue. It's already all sorted out. But we came back and fought a good race, sitting in a lot of dust. A lot of the NA cars passed us, a lot of the trophy UTVs passed us, and we're dead last in class. And at that point, I was like, all right, we're down quite a bit of time. We'll just go out, have some fun. It is what it is. We're going to be here at Vegas Arena. So I really just wanted to get inside the top 10 for a good qualifying spot for Vegas Reno, that's what we did. We ended up fourth, so hopefully we can get a good qualifying spot if there is end up going to be qualifying. And if there's not qualifying, even better. I'm sitting fourth, and I obviously like to start a little bit further back, more in the top 10 rather than the top 5, just because you can gauge what the guys in front of you are doing, and you don't have to set the pace, and it's a lot more.
Yep.
It's kind of crazy to think like how much knowledge he actually has, and the like, I don't know, the validity that he has as a driver against all those other guys.
The maturity. I'm just watching him talk.
Pretty rad.
Is there something that you maybe have taken from Europe and you're driving over there that has benefited you over here, since it's polar opposite?
No, for sure. I've obviously taken strategies from both sides and then applied them to both sides. But I think one thing that I've learned from European racing and bringing it over to the American side racing is because, like, when we're over here, you're in a 300-mile race, you have a break. It's really, really easy to give up and be like, all right, well, that's our race. It's over. I'm going to go back to top 20 and not worry about it because I'm already all the way back here. And so, but when you're in European racing, I mean, like Abu Dhabi, I had a day where I was 30 minutes down. And one day we had 30 minutes down. The next day, all the guys broke, and I was, right back into the overall. So that's one thing I've definitely brought over from the European side of racing to American side of racing is just keep the mindset that anything could happen. Yeah. And, just try and no matter what, because people make mistakes and you can get real lucky, and sometimes you got to be lucky and good. So,
dude, that's a really good point.
Yep.
Like, and I think a lot of people don't actually really understand that, because I know a lot of guys that are out there in the desert races, and they'll be like, "Yeah, dude, we had an issue, so we just called it." I'm like, "What?
Yeah.
Why? Like, why didn't you just fix it and go?"
Or they're in their head the rest of the time, like, "Fuck, like not." Dude, Silverstate, I drove Silverstate once in a Class 1, and it's easy to overdrive. And I can understand that if you were in a bad mood or you had, he had an issue at 40 miles in, I think you said, it could get in your head, and then that just compounds the negativity through the whole race.
Yeah.
So
that's one of the things that they say, Seth, is the best thing about a good racer is they're very quick to forget stuff. Like the attention span of a gnat. Like, you don't remember that you just had an issue. You just keep going forward,
keep pushing
right?
Forward.
And I think you have a good understanding of that.
Yeah, for sure. Just like you guys were saying, it would have been super easy for me to get frustrated with the issues that we did have. And then, I'm trying to drive hard to make up time, and all of a sudden I'm in the trees and I got a totaled car or whatever it is. So, yeah, like you guys are saying, it's really easy to get in your own brain. But us as racers, and like I said, that's what I've brought over from the European side of racing, is just kind of take a breather, calm it down, forget it. It already happened. You're not going to change what already happened, so might as well not, worry about it. Just keep on moving forward and try to get back up there.
Hey, are you getting is Air Dog or any of your crew giving you updates on clearly they're giving you updates on your race, but are they kind of giving you updates on some of the other things that are going on, like maybe Mitch's race and stuff like that? Are you out there being like, yeah, the boys are doing good too?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially when, I had Brandon Sims starting right behind me, and I got my friends studying around me, or obviously my dad is really talks to some of these guys more than I do. My dad's just one of those social butterflies, and he'd go on the radio and be like, hey, Brandon's up front and you're, X amount of time back, or Mitch is up front, he's running up front. I did definitely get some updates on how Mitch was doing, and that's cool to hear, because it really motivates you. You're like, all right, well, my buddies are doing good, so
hell yeah, it does.
Oh yeah.
And so that definitely pumps you up, and Air Dog does a good job of really trying to.
Air Dog just commented in and said, I'm always telling him he's last, he's got to go faster.
That's good motivation.
Yeah, come on, boy.
We're having ice cream and you're last.
Yeah. Tell me a single thing. I'm like, how am I doing? He's like, you're doing good. I'm like, all right, well, where am I at? He's like, you guys are doing good. Just keep that pace. I'm like, I need to know where I'm at.
He's withholding. He knows how his son operates, withholding the proper information.
Yeah.
All right, so you're going through the race. You and Colby are doing good. You move up, and obviously you cross the finish line in fourth. How do you feel about it? Like, that's got to be a pretty successful finish for you, because you haven't raced in the United States that much in the past year or so.
Yeah, that fourth place definitely felt pretty good. I've definitely felt like we've had the driving ability and co-pilot ability and team ability to win a race for a while. We've just had some really, really weird and bad luck, and hopefully that starts turning around, because some people can say that, I don't go through stress and anxiety, whatever it is, but that these past year and a half of trying to balance both European side racing and American racing, there's a lot more work into it than you would really think. And I get that, people from the outside, the way we post on social media, we try to make it look perfect just because basically we're not technically as like allowed to, I would say, to show the bad side of us, because then we get, called like, sore losers or whatever it is. And like, oh, you're taking everything for granted, because this is the last thing I want to be seen as is taking for something for granted. I've always taught to be, try to be really humble. And anyways.
You are, dude.
Stay humble.
Yeah,
exactly.
I know exactly what Seth's talking about, though, and he is correct, though. I like to actually talk about this a little bit when we have these conversations or when they do come up, is that social media is not reality.
Nope.
Social media is social media. It's what you see. It's what you can picture that they're doing, right? But it's also what the other person wants you to see, right? And
exactly.
I know Seth personally. I know his family good, and they are fantastic human beings, and they work their freaking tails off. You know what I mean? Like, everything that Seth does is goal-oriented to make his future better. And it's not just racing. It's everything that he does, literally everything. And I love that about most of these racers, because him, Mitchie, all the guys that we've talked to, Max, Austin, everybody that we've talked to tonight, even Jessy and Dustin, like, they all have that same mentality. We grew up in off-road, and we give it our all in everything that we do. I mean, look at you, dude.
Well, it goes back to the Instagram, right? So there's all this chaos behind the scene with the family, making sure stuff's good. And then Seth's like, yeah, dude, I'm at Miami. Mila, look, I'm in F1 paddock, dude. So they don't see the chaos behind the scenes, that all the blood, sweat, sleepless nights, and stress that it takes
all
to get
Mila sees right now is you guys going to dinner with Max. I mean, he's just losing it right now, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. But I shouldn't have worn my Monster hat, I guess.
Oh, dude. Bad choice tonight.
But being at that level at 19, man, much respect. Stay humble, and you got it going on.
Appreciate it, really do.
Hey, so what's the game plan for this weekend? You guys are going to stay out there and have some fun with the Red Bull team?
Yeah, so obviously a big thank you to Red Bull. We got this opportunity to come out and hang out with a bunch of other athletes. I believe we have almost 25, 30 athletes here. At least that's what last I heard a couple weeks ago. That's how many people were coming out. So it's really cool to, have Red Bull pushing all of us out there and getting into different genres of all of our sports. So, yeah, Mitch and I are out.
Your mom just commented in saying no models. I don't think that's possible, Amy. I think it's going to be models all around Seth. You're going to have to watch out.
We got a good-looking family. I got to keep that, streak going.
There you go.
That's a great answer. So you guys are going to have some fun at least.
Yeah, exactly. Mitch and I are out here. It's really just for fun. This trip, we're not really working too much. We got a set schedule of when we can be there. We don't have to be anywhere at a specific time. So, yeah, we're just going to go watch some racing, appreciate racing for what it is, because us as racers don't get to enjoy that a lot. And it's nice to step back and see our work pay off. So
that's what I was going to say. Like, having the opportunity to be on the other side of the fence has got to be such a cool little deal for you. And at an event like that, it's phenomenal, dude. I'm proud that you guys are able to go and do that, and to be able to do that takes a lot of work behind the lines to get to the place that you're at right now. So you guys deserve kudos just for being there. So I'm stoked.
Man, absorb it, because it's going to go quick.
Yeah, I mean, I was just talking about this. I'm turning 20 here in a couple of months, and I'm like, man, I'm not going to be a teenager. And looking back at my teenage years, it's like I've had quite the teenage years, and the cultures and everything that I've gotten to experience at such a young age is something that I'll for sure never forget. And I'm really thankful to have all these opportunities, and hopefully they keep going, because I feel like I'm only just getting started.
Oh my God, people are gonna drive your mom crazy. Seth and Miami, watch out. We can't listen to the comments, Amy. You just can't do it. All right, homie, we'll really appreciate it. We're gonna get Bruce Binquist from BDI Geyser team on right now and talk to him a little bit about it. Throw a shout out to all the people.
Yeah, first off, obviously, Mom and Pops, they've been there since before the beginning. They're really the ones that pushed me into racing and off-road racing. All my friends that have, stuck behind me, whether I had a Red Bull hat or not, have been always supportive. But obviously, Red Bull players, BFG, KMC, Walker Evans, VP Fuels, Floral Parts, Rigid, Sparco USA, Impact's throwing me helmets now, so thanks to those guys. Lone Star for building my car, Benchmark Performance, Chuck Cheek, and anybody else I forgot, I apologize, because I'm truly thankful for all you guys' help. But
I was just going to say, like, Joey D, Craig Scanlon, like, geez, the big dogs, like,
Yeah, those two guys for sure. Joey D, especially, has been in my life in my racing career since the beginning. Before the Red Bull hack came, he was there when I got handed the Red Bull card. So he's been around a long time, and that got pushed away from being, friends just because of racing to now family. My friend.
And I was also going to say thank you to the guy at TJ's Tacos for cooking such delicious tacos. I mean, like, dude, you got a bunch of people behind you.
You got a list.
Yeah, I got a list for sure. A lot of local food spots that I'll have to take George to. I got to thank all the guys. And Craig, again, thanks to him. He gave me my nickname, Cheeto, and he really took a chance on me when I was at a really young age when he was at Polaris. So he really jump-started my career as well. And I owe a lot to him, and I'm still in very close contact with him. And I consider him obviously family as well and a second dad. And I know Air Dog and old wife Quintero in here are friends with him as well. So.
Yeah, dude.
Sweet. Hey, what's your go-to snack on the race course in the car?
All right, so this is a very controversial topic.
Oh.
Right? Uh-oh. Controversial topic. I'm not the healthiest of eaters, okay? Not the healthiest of eaters. I'll admit it. I'll say it straight up. And I don't normally eat during a race.
That's fair.
I don't know what. Like, I won't eat during a race, but if I do eat, I'm throwing down, like, goldfish, or I got beef jerky, goldfish, and fruit snacks. I'll throw granola bars in there sometimes too.
Yeah, there you go. Goldfish are pretty delicious, right?
I'm thirsty.
There's science behind my brain. Goldfish, if you're sick, throw them in. It's gonna soak everything up in your stomach. Like if you think about it.
Yeah.
Fruit snacks, there's got to be fruit in them at some points in the name, right? So you're getting some nutrition out of the thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of sient behind Seth's mentality here.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Protein in the beef jerky.
All right, hey, dude. I'm going to throw a shout out to you too here. So thank you for everything that you do for the Dirt Life Show, and obviously your family and stuff too. So you guys can also see Seth after he talks with Max and has a great time this weekend. He is going to be co-hosting the Dirt Life Show on Monday at Andy McMillan's shop. And which is also, he shares a shop with him. And we're going to have a good time down there. So I'm pumped, dude.
I'm gonna bring in some good tacos. We're gonna talk about trophy trucks and going fast and have some fun for sure.
Dude, it'll be cool, man. So hey, thanks, dude. Go have some fun and enjoy. Please airdrop me all of that stuff on Monday so I can make Mila real jealous.
Yeah, man.
All right, Max. I'll see you in a second, dude. Hold on.
All right, hey, later, boys. We really appreciate it. So tell Mitch bye. Thanks, Seth.
Bye.
Later, guys.
See you.
Super cool to see. Like, dude, don't you love this off-road family? Like, it makes you feel good, right?
This is my favorite part of off-road. It's just the people.
All right, let's see if we can get Bruce Binquist back on here. Hopefully, we got good audio. And then to round out the show, we got Jamie Campbell from Raceco USA, Mikey Sandoval, and hopefully Elliot Watson. Bruce Binquist, dude, can we hear you now?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you. He's here with us. Woo!
We got you.
Hey, bud. So we got a little bit of information from Mitch Guthrie earlier. Said that basically you're the catalyst to this UTVs racing in the Class 1.
No, you know what? I'm going to get in a fight about this for sure. It was Nolan Rudd and Alan pushing me there. The tech guys. Nolan said if I called him a tech guy, we were going to get a fist fight. And if you know, he's a large human, and I'm ready. Let's go.
How did this idea even come about, though, dude? I mean, like, that's a pretty bold, ambitious. Like, that's a pretty crazy idea, dude. But like, where did it even come from? You just sitting at the dinner table and like, let's go?
Nah, I mean, here's the deal. Silverstate really stacks up to where I think we have a little bit more of a level playing field with, the reversing the course and that fast part of the section of the course being up front was a little bit of like, okay, well, I guess we're going to figure out how we're going to do here, right? But unfortunately, as the race kind of comes to us, we get in that technical section where we can put the power down, get in the corners of the course, and really utilize that all-wheel drive and that car. So it just seemed like it was the right race to take a stab at it, and why not, right? Yeah. Let's get after it.
So let's just say, Mila, that Bruce comes to you with this idea. Are you like, are you fucking crazy, or are you like, well, maybe?
No, because you break it down, man. It's those type of tracks. UTV all-wheel drive. It suits it. It really does.
Yeah, and so we saw that because, like, literally he goes in and he's, like, never done it before. And in qualifying is a little bit less scary because you get the track to yourself, right? And then qualifying, Bruce, you come home with 4th in qualifying, dude. Like, when I saw that and when you called me, I was like, no fucking way. Like, this is so insanely cool.
Well, you know what Bruce does, too? On his Instagram, he'll put a trophy truck up top, his car down at the bottom, on the same section of course, and he'll do the split times, and it's virtually identical.
That's nuts, dude.
It's really, you break down the tracks, you know, if there's not a long, high-speed section, the lightweight car with all-wheel drive is going to do very, very well.
And so that's what you're talking about, Bruce.
Yeah, so, I mean, we really, it's something that we knew the course stacked up for us. We took Harley Letner, right? He's the benchmark, past champion, all-around badass, right? In a trophy, and like Mila was talking about, we stacked up our car directly with Harley at Laughlin. The qualifying was slightly different. We actually probably had a little bit longer kind of section, but we were within 3/10, and you know we just really saw that they time on us on the big horsepower, big mile an hour, but on the technical cornering speed. And just leaving it wide. I mean, if you're going to sack up, you're going to hang. And I was just like, let's go do this. That's what we came here. And, I mean, if I were given the opportunity with a trophy truck, I'd throw down. And I don't have it, so I got a trophy UTV that guys are performance is built and our team. And I'm like, let's go do this. This is the race to do it.
It's super cool to see. Like, and the ambition behind that, like, it just drives the industry forward. One little decision changes all of the stuff in the future,
well,
right?
If you watch Bruce talk, it's his mindset. Look at him. He's driven. Just in the way he's talking, he's driven. That's what progression is in any sort of racing.
Dude, I agree 100%. We just had a comment come in that said, when was Raceco going to come on? Probably in about 20 minutes or so, bud. So hang out. Listen to how awesome Bruce is. Hey, so when this is like starting to happen and you're sitting there, and what'd you say, Alan, that he was going to fight you? He said no chance, dude.
Not Alan. It was Nolan. I'm just poking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, he said no chance. So, all right. So you're getting out there and in qualifying, you do well, and you're just like, you know what? Like, this is a totally different world. Like, we're going to start up front. Like, we got all of these things happening now that are enticing to me. This is what I'm looking for. Like, what are you thinking at this point?
You guys, it was really interesting. I mean, ultimately, you know, we want to progress the sport, right? We want to be innovators, and I think we've kind of done that in our own right. But at the end of the day, like, for me, I didn't feel good about taking a back start. You know, we had a DNF at Parker that kind of put us back in the point. We were running really well at Laughlin. And
oh, crap. The audio again.
Yeah,
there we go.
Good now?
Yeah, you're better.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, we just ended up going, hey, I didn't want to start in the back, come through the dust. I thought it was dangerous. We wanted a chance at earning our starting position based upon speed, and we were going to go battle it. So, I mean, at qualifying, I'm like, hey, let's just go see where we stack up. It didn't matter what was going to happen. I felt that I had a chance of putting the thing on pole, and, you know, unfortunately, we compromised the car in the first mile. On qualifying, and I told Radfab, I said, you know, as I'm like, hey, I got no brakes, but you know what? Hang on, because there's no pussies that have become heroes, so we're throwing it down.
Don't you love when you get words like that when you're sitting there in the passenger seat?
Well, I've raced against Bruce quite a bit, and I will say he sticks to that every race.
That's what pushes things forward, though, man. You got to have the attitude.
I've been fortunate enough to see, I was at Sean's shop, and I looked at his car, and it's pretty pushed forward. He has no spared part. Like, he's pushing everything on that car, so much props to him.
Yeah, well, I love it, dude. Like, when I talk with Bruce and I talk with, all these guys, like, I just see such a good future. I mean, I've been telling everybody for years how important UTVs are to the off-road culture. Yeah. And I'm not talking about just what Bruce is talking about. I'm talking about everything, right? Like, winning and doing all these things, racing, enthusiast stuff. Yeah. And this is pushing it forward more. Like, I get so excited about it, dude. All right, so you come home in fourth in qualifying, and you had a little issue, but then you're just like sitting there and you're like, no way, like we got this, like this is gonna be good. Like you line up at the starting line, is everybody like hyped on it? Like what's the deal?
Yeah, I mean, you know what, we really didn't pay much attention going into it. I know there was a lot of internet talk, you know, a lot of vibes. I never buy into that. I'm there to do my thing and go do my best with my team, and got an awesome team that's developed this car and great support behind us. So, you know, I really didn't pay much attention. We did get actually a lot of opposition because, you know, I mean, pioneers, right? I mean, they have arrows in their back. I mean, that's how you know they're a pioneer, right? And pushing forward. So, you know, there was a lot of people that were questioning what we were doing. We were insane. We're going to get hurt. And, you know, I just reassured Best in the Desert and as the idea with it that, listen, I'm a pro. I don't think I'm going to out horsepower or out mile an hour or out drive these trophy truck guys. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be using my past racing experience, whether it's formula racing that I've done, been overtaken, you know, 100-mile-an-hour overtakes, road racing. Like there's an etiquette and a respect. So a little bit like Mitchie talked, and we were up at the line there, and I had Jurgensen and Johnson and BJ in front of me, which I didn't worry about them at all. I talked to the couple guys behind me, and I just said, look, here's the deal. You guys are faster. You guys have every reason to win and every reason to overtake us. Hit the push to pass. Hit the horn. I'm going to get over. If we're in a section I can't get out of my way, I'm going to tap my brakes twice, and I'm acknowledging, and I'm going to go on the downwind side. I'm a desert racer. Like, I'm going to give you the best side and race you guys square. But, you know, we're going out there, and when that green line went off, I stood on the button and never looked back.
That's so cool, man.
Very
And
much.
The respect level, like if you were sitting there and you were his competitor in the front of that pack, how would you feel if Bruce walked up to you and said those things?
Well, that's definitely a respect thing. Just being the first to confront the conversation. Like a lot of guys would be afraid to go tell those guys, you know, because look, I out-qualified you.
Right.
I'm not going to move if you catch me. But being those top guys in the trophy truck, they don't want to. You know, that's a smaller car. They're not going to come in and just start blasting. They're just going to say, hey, man, I'm going to push to pass. I'm going to give you every benefit to move out of the way, and you've already made it clear you're going to do it. So it's an excellent thing you did.
I think it's super cool.
Yeah, it was fun. We were having fun up there, and Jurgensen and BJ were talking, and I looked over at them. I said, it's a different story for you guys. You guys are in front of me. I come up on you. It's a different program.
Right. Only they're not going to feel it if you nerf them.
Just making fun of it, right? Like, here's the deal. At the end of the day, we're super excited to be out there, celebrate with our team, our family, all of our supporters, and the camaraderie of off-road is ultimately second to none. So,
I agree with that wholeheartedly, but I want to kind of get into the details of the race a little bit too, because there's a lot more that happened during the race. I mean, like you take off, you're in fourth. What's the first types of things that happen? Because just like we told Mitchie, you guys are kind of paving a new way. You're doing something that hasn't been done, and to me, if I'm sitting in that race car, whether I'm sitting in the passenger side or driving like you were, I'm questioning everything that's going on until I get comfortable.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, ultimately, we really, Radfab and I, you know, at the car at the start line weren't questioning anything. I mean, we knew what our pace was. We knew we were going to hold the car wide open and not have a problem with our belt or our problems. We'd been testing 2 weeks prior and really made some great progress, which was super exciting for us and our platform. And, you know, we'd shown the speed on the qualifying, and Radfab was honestly probably more confident than I was, my navigator, which is awesome, right? As a driver, to have that cheerleader sitting next to me.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he's like, dude, we're not that far off a pace. You know, these guys think they're going to drive up on us and just overtake us at 40 miles an hour, and it's not happening. And I went, yeah. And I was a little bit more, if you can believe it, tentative, but I didn't let anybody know that, right? Like I was. Overall, that's what we signed up to go try and do. And, man, I'm bummed for Mitchy. I mean, my hat's off to him, coming within 12 seconds. I knew we could do it. I'm super stoked that, we had the talk about doing it together. That RR is a phenomenal platform, no doubt about it. And, we had a super epic vibe, but from the start to pit 1, we were definitely on the pipe.
Hey, Jesse Nelson's mad at you because you didn't follow him back on Instagram.
Well, I barely can figure out how to turn this stuff on. I'm an old man.
Hey, I was gonna say, dude, you're doing a good job with your Instagram Live. We got to have you on more often now. All right, so I totally understand all this stuff. And could you have the same kind of feelings, or would you feel different if you were in the car and then Radfab and Bruce's position?
I think I would feel the same. I would feel like the first to pit 1. Like, where are we gonna stand? Are we gonna get ran up on? Or are we going to pull away with our car?
I would honestly, I think I might feel a little bit more scared than both of you guys. Like, I would feel like, because I don't know off-road as good as you guys do, moto guy, right? Like, if I was, well, maybe not. Maybe I used to race my 80 against 125s and 250s and still be able to win, right? So it kind of feels like the same thing in moto. But this is like a 7,000, whatever the weight is, truck behind you.
Yeah, so as a good driver, I would say, hey, man, you concentrate on the road. I will concentrate on what's behind us.
Got it.
And that's would be what I would probably tell my driver right in the beginning.
So that's what you and Radfab did then, Bruce?
Yeah. Guys, to be honest with you, we never checked a mirror. I never asked him, like, hey, what's going on with push to pass? It's in our face. It's going to come up, right? So when we went through pit 1, we'd given up, we were within, seconds of Mitchy, and behind us, Cole, who won overall. Congrats. Great job, bud. Super stoked for you. Hell of a drive. He had pulled in some time on us, I think about 15 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. And we're like, okay, hey, we're not that far off a pace. We knew when we got up into race mile, 25-ish, it was going to tighten up. And I knew that's when I needed to get up on the wheel and hunt. And we were kind of going through it, and I looked over at Radfab. I'm like, dude, this is freaking awesome running up front. The course is epic. The spacing, hats off, the best in the desert with putting the right spacing in there on that. And, I'm like, we're pre-running right now. This is like pre-running, clear air, no dust. Like, let's get after it. And I looked over at him. I'm like, dude, are you having fun? Because I'm having a freaking kick-ass time.
Dude, that's crazy to hear that. Then, like, honestly, when I hear this, like, it makes me want to race in that class instead of a different class. So I can only imagine that all the guys that are watching and are listening to this on iTunes are going to be like, you know what? We're switching.
We're going to go.
Yeah, so, like, when we say Bruce is paving the way, literally, like, him and Mitchy are paving the way. I think it's cool, man. I really do.
No, it was good. I mean, I think, we were going to be smart about it. There was no doubt about it. We weren't going to put anybody or ourselves in jeopardy. But when we saw we could run the pace, we went hammer down. The unfortunate thing of our race, our story doesn't end like Mitchy's, but couldn't be more stoked to have been the catalyst to, dragging us in there and seeing where these things stack up. But at race mile 35, we had our first indication of a low voltage light. And of course, I really don't say much in the cockpit. I'm just focused on the road ahead and what's going on. But I told Radfab, I'm like, dude, we're compromised right now. And unfortunately, we had that at Parker. We had it at the Mint a couple times. And I went ahead and cycled stator to alternator. And, we got multiple power systems. We're a high power usage car. It's how we're getting, the mile an hour and the no lift out of it. And the car came back to life a bit. We went across the silt bed, which I was really worried about starting in the back, being in that dust, as some of the guys had talked about. I thought it was a danger. I thought I was safer running up front and letting them overtake me. And we went through there at, 101 mile an hour. I mean, it's pretty phenomenal. Belt temps of about 190. We were feeling good. I'm like, we get through here and we haven't been passing. At that point, I think maybe Kyle Jurgensen had a little bit of an issue, and we were P3 on track.
Dude, that's crazy, right?
I knew we were going to have a bit of an issue, with this voltage, but that, we were positive, as we kept working down the course.
It's like a whole different race.
You guys there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Mila.
Yo, can you hear me?
All right, I'll just keep talking. We'll see if anybody's there. Georgie's out. But anyways, we continued on from there, and
It just is gone.
Yeah, I got to charge it a little bit to see if it works.
There we go.
we seen the dust where that's where the course was doubling back and forth. We had seen you there, George?
Yeah, we're here. Can you hear us, Bruce?
I don't think he can hear you.
Okay, I'm taking away. Here we go, Mitchie. So anyway, back and forth.
Take it away, Bruce.
We ended up. That's awesome.
I can hear him.
Yeah, but I don't think he can see us. Oh, he gone.
Crap.
We ultimately ended up coming through pit 2, P3. My guys told me we were. I thought we were P2, P3 within a couple seconds there. Cole was closing on us in that high speed section. We ended up moving forward out of pit 2, and then pretty much that was about race mile 70. We had complete alternator failure. I went in stator mode. We started doing some power shedding exercises, and we ended up, at that point we were compromised. But we ended up getting to race mile 88. At race mile 88, we lost complete power, and ultimately it was due to a alternator pulley sprag that ended up melting down on us. So that's ultimately what happened. We were able to, at that point when we were down, Cole got by, checked the GoPros. At that point he was about a minute behind us, so he made up a minute in that first 88, and then we got going again. We got up track. The car died. We didn't have the voltage and the charging on the stator side of things. We got out of the car. We thought it might have been an alternator belt. That's when Mitchie got by, and then Radfab and I went to work, and ultimately I drove it in from like race mile 92 with zero power steering, zero power, turned off radios, and brought it in from there. So that's ultimately what it was. We got it to pit 3, and then let the boys try to see what they could do to fix it.
Dude, it's so crazy, there? Man. Yeah, there's so much going on, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty rad to understand.
All right, Nelson. Well, I'm going to keep her ripping if you guys hear me. But anyways, we got into pit 3,
I think you can hear us.
In the pit 3 area, the boys went to work on the car. We ultimately found out that it was a sprag pulley decoupler, and we at that point, by the time we had figured it out, the boys had 40 minutes or more on us. We knew Mitchie wasn't going to break, and we ultimately just went. We just had to call it a day at that point. Since then, we've resolved the problem. We got a plan on what we're doing moving forward, and there we are.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Like all of that stuff means so
George,
much, right?
We got no audio.
We can hear you.
So anyways, I'll take over the Dirt Life show here, boys.
I know.
Until they can get hot again.
I don't know. It says no audio
but no, honestly, I want to just kind of reach out here real quick and say thanks to Best of the Desert and all the racers. We ended up, I think, making a point here that we need to be qualifying, get the fast racers up front there. Glad everyone was safe. I just want to take and really thank my entire team and everyone behind us. Ultimately, Geyser Performance, Sean, he's become my son in this thing, with us building our program together, and just an amazing human being, and the parts he builds are second to none. KWI Clutching, Chris, thanks for always being there for us, and trying to allow us to take it to a new level. This race we were able to run probably 21% higher because of that.
That's crazy.
Gates Belts has been helping us. I think we made some big progress with them. Brett King, what can I say, man? Family, appreciate everything you've done for our program, and super happy to call you our friend. JMR Performance, everything that Mikey and Rob and everybody have done there for me, super fired up on that. Fluid Logic keeping us hydrated.
Yeah.
Those guys are amazing. Metal FX, Mike and Glenn and everyone over there helping us. You guys really, really stoked to call your friends and family. Steel Racing Products, all of our cooling fans, intercoolers, radiators, and whatnot. Those guys are rad. Motul on the oil, keeping us lubed up there. Boys are killing it. Love it. That stuff is second to none. Oldest lubrication company out there, and just all around kick-ass race oil. So super stoked. Want to just shout out to ultimately all the guys that won in their classes. Vito, fantastic job. Stoked for you guys. Chris Blaze, nice job. I helped you out there in a pit stop when we were broken there in pit 3. Stoked to see you guys capitalize. And, Cole, class 1 car winning overall. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, that was super
within
cool
12
too.
seconds. Super stoked. And just want to thank Radfab for riding next to me, man. What a champion you are to hang, because the stuff we're doing in this car is sick. And, that's what I got. We got no audio.
I don't know if you can hear us, Bruce.
Cinco de Drinko. I'm ready to have me a little happy dad, boys.
Sweet, man.
Cheers out.
We got audio on Facebook,
boys,
but
appreciate the support.
we really
Cheers.
appreciate it, Bruce. Thank you very much, dude. We could hear you, so thank you very much. I don't know if audio is good on Instagram or not.
I don't think it's Instagram. I think it's Facebook's got it.
Facebook's got it, but on Instagram, you want to try yours, see if you got it on Instagram. I don't know on Instagram if you guys can tell us if there's any audio, but I reset it, so hopefully it'll come back. We'll see what happens. These iPads and all this Instagram app and stuff, they're really difficult, man. They take a lot of freaking work. It wouldn't seem like it, but they take a lot of work.
You got no audio on Instagram?
No audio on Instagram? How about now, maybe? Mic drop? Yeah, mic drop. So we'll see what comes back here now. So on all you guys on Instagram, I really appreciate you guys hanging out. Hopefully there does end up being some audio in a little bit here. I don't know if you guys can hear us or whatever. But we're going to let's probably wind down the show then. I want to get the Raceco guys still on the show, but let's do it tomorrow. I'll just do a little Instagram live just directly with them. Can you hear us on Instagram or no? So all you guys on Instagram, we'll see you later. We're going to wind down the show on YouTube and Facebook. So sorry, guys. We're going to wind down the show on YouTube and Facebook. We got to thank our sponsors because we didn't thank them at the beginning of the show, dude. So let's see. What do you know about those KMC wheels, guys?
They're all right. I probably have them in my truck. They help me fit me with some good clothes.
Oh, you got some good clothes?
That guy Ryan, he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Shady sometimes, but he's pretty cool.
Those two Ryan guys?
Guys
but yeah, thank you to KMC Wheels. You can head down to your local four-wheel parts dealer and pick up some KMC wheels. Those guys will help you out down there. You can even get them installed. Yep. They have all kinds of new stuff. You guys can also get merch at wheelmerch.com. So please support the guys that support us. I say it every time, but I really mean it because those guys are our lifeblood. They keep the Dirt Life show going. Like Bruce said, thank you very much to the Motul guys. Just like we have here, you guys can go pick up at Evolution Power Sports or like IMG here. Any dealer that has Motul side-by-side products, you can get the Can-Am oil change kit. It's got Jacob's cone on the front of it. You can get one for your Polaris. You can get one for all your different vehicles. So check out those oil change kits. And adversely, thank you very much. Check for to Evolution Power Sports. Excuse me. Thank you very much to Evolution Power Sports for being a part of the show. Those guys have been awesome this whole time, man. They're making some serious power, and obviously they're using some good products like Motul to help back it. We missed Justin from Shock Therapy today, so maybe we can see if we can get him on tomorrow with the Raceco guys. You can use the code DIRTLIFE at shocktherapy.com. And get some limit straps, steering rack, a BSD kit, any of that stuff. They make some fantastic products, so please go check it out. You can always get a ride improvement system, help them have those guys revalve your shocks, do whatever you can to get those things dialed in for your UTV. Thank you very much to the guys at JL Audio. They make a full sound system for the stock Can-Ams. It fits up on the roof, got some subwoofers, the whole deal. So check out the JL Audio products. They're doing a lot of new stuff for side-by-side, so we're stoked to have them on board as well. Thank you guys over at Zolander Racing Products. You know, Mila, they make some pretty dope stuff.
Yep.
CRP. You can use the code TheDirtLife, buy some tie rods or some radius rods, match up to your shock therapy steering rack. Thank you to the guys over at Vision Canopies. If you need some sponsor love, man, you can put it on your Vision Canopy, and they help support the whole off-road culture. So please support the guys at Vision Canopy. Thank you guys over at Cryo Heat. They support Max Eddy. He was just talking about him, and they do some very good work. Those Pro Mod transmissions are insanely cool. I don't know
Very strong.
Yeah, and lightweight too. So, all right, Mila, thanks, dude. I appreciate you helping out, dude.
Oh, man. Thank you. Thanks
Always
for having
awesome
me.
talking. The amount of knowledge that you have is phenomenal,
I
dude.
thoroughly enjoy this.
Do you? Yeah.
I do.
Well, you do a good
A lot
job.
of
So, you guys can always visit the sponsor deals page on thedirtlifeshow.com and learn how to get sponsored by Alex Streiler, and then you can also get discounts and stuff. So visit that page, support the people that support us, and save yourself some money. Like I mentioned when Seth was talking, we have Monday's show is going to be at Andy McMillan's shop in Southern California. We're going to do a shop tour there. We're also going to do a Dirt Life show. Man, it's going to be awesome, the amount of content that we're going to bring you guys. So we really appreciate him allowing us to come into his shop and, I don't know, get some content and have
Andy's
some
a
fun.
very smart, dedicated, driven dude.
Yeah, I
It's gonna
can't
be a
wait.
good show.
I can't wait to talk to him. It's going to be awesome, and plus Seth's going to be there, so got a little bit of hot Cheeto to him too. Huh?
Yep, there you go.
So thank you guys very much for watching. You guys are our lifeblood. We really appreciate everything that you guys have done for the Dirt Life show. So please slide into our DMs, hang out with us as much as possible. We'll try to get to all your questions. If you guys have any questions for Mila or myself, just throw them out there. Ask them, man. We're always willing to help. Thank you to everybody at IMG Motorsports for letting us interrupt. We really appreciate James and John here for doing all that stuff. And like I said, man, you guys are our lifeblood. So please keep all the positive vibes coming for the show and let us know what we can do better or who you want to see on the show. So, all right. You got anything else, Mila, or are we out?
If you got any questions, hit me up at Mila Performance at Instagram, and I really appreciate you having me.
Dude, stoked, man. All right. Thank you guys very much. Love you. Good night.
All right. Adios.
Thanks for listening to The Dirt Life Show. See you next week.